of the game. Actually, are we even calling it that anymore? Is it the state? Can we say the state of the game is on your show, with your show box, on your picture box, on your radio, and your eardrums and your podcast and all that stuff? Is that a thing that we can say? I don't know.
We do own the trademark.
We do have the trademark. All right, well, we'll go with it. Good evening, everybody. Let's kick it off with a talking track server sound off here for the December state of the game. Let's talk about Q's Continuum. You guys get it kicked off in the chat. Pirate Yar starting us on server 34. Thank you. Cap Q on 57. Gherkin on European 184. Appreciate you very much. And Hani on server 10. What's going on? Appreciate you being here. Vic, what's going on server 40? Stradalorian on 9. Tarpy on 70. Jellyfish on server 31. Spectre on 11. Papa Smurf on 61. Divine on 57. Graduated on 26. Scaly back. Check 1, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, check from server 193. Thank you. Wham on server 15. Appreciate you being here. Jace on 44. Graduated on 26. Vic on server 40. Thank you. Patron St. Nick on server 10. Wretched on, what is that, server 13? I'm going to go 13. Herps on 28. Pip and Boo on 17. Luke on 169. He says, stop the mini dailies. Why? Listen, there is 0% of you out there who completed 100% of your mini dailies before. Y'all get out of here with that business. Nobody did 100% of them. I might be missing something, but I like them so far. Game Junior on server 30, iCrazy on 24, Herbs on 28, Daystros on 32, APAC on 188, Candy White on 24, Burton on 701, thank you, J-Babes on 13, Deckard on server 37, Vic on 40, Scarlet Hawk on 195. I have done a couple of them. I've got 800 points. Genre on server 32, Ben to the Robot on 51, Cha-Cha Roar, Silver Tab, Shinzola, Brandig, Kirok, Engineer, and the list goes on and on. Oh my gosh, we are out of time, and there's like 200 more. You guys are hot and on fire tonight. What's up? How y'all doing? Ladies and gentlemen, we have zero time for playing around tonight. We've got literally 58 minutes with one of our guests, and then Hammy will be here for the rest of the night. So we don't have to really rush him out of here. Hammy said, "Listen, I'll be yours until midnight or later." All right, is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Is that a proposition?
I don't know. Community, let's see if we can. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even get his song playing yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, your community manager. Get ready, get your glow sticks out and start.
I came for the love.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Obsidian Hamster is here. What's up, my man? What you doing?
Buddy?
How are you?
I came for the love.
Doing really well.
You realize
I got my music playing.
Yeah.
Apparently, you've said that I'm now Hammy after hours.
Hammy
since
after
I'll be
dark.
here
Hammy after dark.
till midnight.
I'm curious about your song selection tonight. You said I came for the lows. That is the song track that you chose tonight. Are you by chance indicating that you might be sensing community frustration? Is there anything going on? What lows might you be referring to here tonight, Hammy?
Well, let's not read into the name of the song too much. We're just listening to the good beat. But I did, and I think it's a solid jam.
It is a solid
we can agree
jam.
on that, right?
Absolutely. It's a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you being here. We've got more guests on the stage, ladies and gentlemen. You heard his voice a little bit ago, and tonight he's not even green. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, my partner, friend, and co-host. Griffin is here. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going? You set up my frame to where
you
my
got- yeah,
sponsorship
you gotta
deals
hold
are
him in
now
the-
very difficult to get on.
Got to
on
hold him in
screen.
the. Got to hold him in the center. He's got turkey sticks and grape ghost is what he's got over there. Awesome. Appreciate you being there. And ladies and gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to press one.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
My
you,
name
Seth.
is Beck, and I like plants, and I'm a
Probably-
valley girl, and listen to me do all the things on a Rev show.
It's still DJ's show, but thank you, Seth, for your kitty bitties. I probably should have turned those off tonight, as we do indeed
I am so positive.
Thank you.
I'm full of positive energy.
Look, the alerts aren't even working properly, right? I'm going to have to fix those. Go ahead, Griffin. I hear that you're trying to actually get a sound effect here. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Oh, I already cracked it open.
And it's such low quality that you had to use a pen to open the soda.
About this.
It's good.
I dropped it. I dropped it on the way up.
Appreciate that.
That's a testament to the quality of the product.
I
dropped it 8 feet down the stairs onto a marble floor, and it did not rupture. It is still in perfect condition and ready to be consumed.
Yes, there.
Griffin, where can I get this wonderful drink?
Oh, stop it! Don't feed this. No, don't feed into this,
Get one
please.
free Black Friday week special.
Oh my God!
Black Friday special. Tell me more.
No, we don't need to. We don't need to talk any more about it. I feel like my camera is sitting on. I can fix it there a little bit. I guess that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more.
Von 99
thank you,
Luftballons.
Lost in.
Auf Ihren Weg zum Horizont
Yes.
denkst du vielleicht gerade an mich.
Yes.
Dann singe ich ein Lied für dich.
Thank you.
I don't know. Something like that.
Something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who else is here? Is the infamous Mr. Tiger is here. What are you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Good to be back on the show.
It is very, very good to have you here. Appreciate it so very much. Listen, in all fairness, Mr. Tiger, it did take about 3 years to convince me to reveal this beautiful work of art that is my face on the interwebs. We are still using your wonderful jar of currencies there, of which we have many currencies this month that we can talk about. But when are we going to get you to come on the show and dance around with Hammy? Do a little bit of that.
Good question. That's a good question. I don't know. But now that I've heard Hammy's staying till midnight, I mean, kind of
listen, he's like, listen, I've got personal obligations tonight, but I could be convinced to come back. All right.
Forget about my girlfriend. Forget about all the plans we made. Hammy at midnight.
We have Star Trek Fleet Command to do. All right. Thank you guys very much. Wolfwood says turn off the alerts or nothing's getting done. I probably should. Let me do that real quick.
Probably should.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in there and turn those off.
Tiger, let me proposition you this. Imagine, if you will, living in a world where you dump your girlfriend and all the extra money you'll have to spend in the game from not having to take her to dinner.
See, I'm dating a good girl though. She's not expensive.
So, that's okay. At least you still have money to spend on maxing your Revenant to tier 15. We're gonna talk about that tonight.
That one hurts.
Yeah, it should. Listen, does anybody want to explain to Hammy and Tiger how Griffin came on the show Tuesday night, Hammy, and was so convinced that everybody who was telling him that the ship was not going to cost thousands of dollars to max, he was thinking, you know what, I'm going to get to Evolution 2, and he did. Then he said, well, I'm going to go to Evolution 3, and he did. And then he said, I want to go to Evolution 4 on day 1. Now, I know that Mr. Tiger's sitting back there saying, yes, that's what we wanted. But Griffin demonstrated 14 tiers of this ship on Tuesday night. Absolutely crazy. Did you know that,
Hammy? I took
Hammy?
it all the way to 14. I thought I was going to go to 15, but then I realized I need to drop like $2,300 to do that.
You're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to play the game, man. You get to play.
That is playing the game. Hey, was I clicking buttons in the game in order to get to tier 14? Because I remember clicking buttons.
Your buttons made a special sound. You want to play it for us?
Oh, they absolutely do every time. But it's this. There you go.
Those are the special sounds. Vic says, I am unevolved. I am as well. I actually just built the ship last night and haven't actually flown it yet. I've been busy. I've been preparing for this show. We've been doing teaching guides. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we have very little time tonight. 51 minutes are on the clock. You guys can set a timer. Mr. Tiger, good evening. Welcome into the show. Appreciate you taking the time.
Whoa.
Hammy, don't touch that button. What are you doing, Hammy? Don't do that.
Don't put your finger in your water while you're touching your microphone, because then you're going to electrocute yourself.
Oh no.
Don't do that.
The stakes are high on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Tiger, obviously, thank you very much for spending some time with us. Appreciate you coming here. Know that you're very, very busy with what is going on in the secret underground world of game design, but I appreciate you coming out. There's some stuff that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. And community, the way that we're going to break this up is we've got Mr. Tiger for roughly 45 more minutes, so we're going to talk about some of the design elements first. Okay? I think that's fair. We're going to talk design. We're going to talk some chaos tech, talking about the loop, the hostiles. We'll get to that stuff, all right? And then Hammy is going to spend some time with us after that to talk about events, the daily minis, the meta. We're going to talk about that stuff. So don't think, and the event store. We got the event store as well. So don't think that we won't get to those things, but we got to go in. We got to block this thing up a little bit. So the first thing that we are going to talk about tonight is indeed this that we just kind of joked about, Mr. Tiger. Let's talk a little bit about the SS Revenant. Now, when we were taking a look at these, at the data on this ship, it looks really, really good as far as the progression. There's something that I talked to you about several weeks ago and said, hey, listen, let's take a look at what we learned from Stella. The first thing that people said when we looked at this loop, not only privately, but publicly as well, the community came out and said, hey, it's Stella 2.0. Not exactly sure how I feel about this. There are some similarities, but you assured me that there were also some differences, and those differences would be mostly beneficial. How is the Revenant better than the Stella, and what lessons did we learn from Outlaw that we have applied to this new Revenant loop?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of different components there. First thing I would say on the Stella is that you have to scrap it a lot, and it's pretty much a literal hard reset. That's not what we wanted to do at all with the Revenant. When you scrap, first of all, you won't be scrapping as much. And in fact, scrapping isn't even supposed to be a gimmick of, resetting your ship. It's supposed to be a step up, right? So when you scrap, you don't reset. You shouldn't anyway. What you should be doing is stepping into a higher bracket immediately. And so the way that the ship is supposed to work, and I would love to hear feedback if people disagree, is when you hit that scrap button, one, you're not doing it all the time. You do it once at each bracket. Two, when you do click that button, you get better after you unlock the refit because it gives you all the stuff right away. And so it's not trying to be a scrapping ship per se. Like the Stella, you could scrap at any time, you reset your progress, you keep progressing, you have to kind of build back up. This is not the case. It should not be the case here. It's supposed to be, basically it's additional tiers on the ship, just done in a different way, if that makes any sense. And every time you level up, you unlock a new ability too. So, okay, I evolved my ship, I scrapped and I evolved my ship. Great, I now have a more powerful ability that lets me hit things that I couldn't hit before. And every time you do that, hopefully you're getting more and more powerful rather than less powerful. That's one of the big things. The other thing I want to comment on, the Stella, to this day, I don't know about you guys, but to this day, I'm not even close to capping my rep in the Rogue Store. Similarly, I haven't even finished the research tree yet, and that ship's been out forever. The dinosaur, it saw the asteroids hit Earth. And so the problem here that was one of the things with Stella
hit Earth. I love you, man. Like this is, man. You know what? That loop was so trash. I don't even play it. All right. That's
the reality is that's the other big learning I want to quickly talk about is time frame. I do not like games that make me grind forever. Some amount of participation is fun and good, but we don't want to be grinding this thing for years and years and years. That's way too much. And so that's something we also wanted to avoid with the Revenant.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up, and chat is shocked, actually, that you don't have Outlaw finished, that you don't have Stellar Research finished, and I'm going to tell you why that is not the case. It's the same reason that we're going to step back in time a year and a half. It's the same reason that 6% of players had a maxed Vidar when Tally launched, guys. You don't have to. Like, what's the point? If I were going to ask this question to a player, let me ask the question. Why max the Stella? Who cares? What would it give him today? So don't necessarily be surprised by that. Can you have already maxed it? Sure. Does he not play the game? Sure he does. He just doesn't want to waste his time in the game, which, by the way, is exactly what Stella is by today's standards. Okay? The Outlaw Research Tree is garbage by today's standards. All right? Sure. So I get I understand why somebody would abandon that. This is the same thing that we talk about, community, about sunsetting loops and moving on to bigger and better loops, because what is the point of chasing a 3, 4, 5-year-old loop when the benefits that it provides are not relevant in today's game? So I'm not surprised to hear that. Just like you guys were kind of surprised that only 6% of people had maxed the Vidar. Why finish the loop? Bubba Joe was among them. Do you remember? He didn't max the Vidar because why? He didn't need to. So I like that thought. Now, I do want to bring this to your screen very quickly. And for those of you who are in podcast, we're going to, I'll see if I can get some people to help me out by grabbing some screenshots. This is the first one that I want to kind of show off, Mr. Tiger, that we were talking about. The first thing that I noticed, you have mentioned the fact that it's not an infinite scrap model. You have basically said each generation is going to scrap one time. So G4 scraps it once. G5 is going to scrap it twice. G6 will scrap it 3 times. Is that how you built this?
Yes. Yep, exactly.
But each time that it scraps, you had mentioned the word a hard reset. You have kind of accomplished a workaround to that by this parts efficiency. Can you explain that a little bit? What if I'm scrapping the ship, aren't I starting out again at tier 1, level 1? So how is it not a reset?
Yes. So here's the intent. When you scrap your ship, you get a refit right away. It's not like you have to grind it out or whatever. So let's say you had a tier 5 ship, you scrapped it, now you have a tier 1 ship, or you rebuilt it. Now you have a tier 1 ship starting from the beginning, but you have a refit. That refit gives you, and I think it's even in this graphic, which by the way, this is an awesome graphic. It gives you 500%. I love it. It's amazing. 500% efficiency right off the get-go. So when you're upgrading again, it's obviously significantly cheaper. But the other thing that I think is very, very important is you also... Sorry, someone saying something?
I said, which was the case we saw the other night. Once we unlocked that refit, which, by the way, you do need to remember to actually unlock your refit to get this reward. But when you do, boy, that helps you catapult way up to just about where you were.
Why did you suddenly get super quiet, dude? Like me? Yeah, you're gone. All right, just
yeah. I heard a little voice. I was like, what's going on?
You're a teeny tiny little person 7 miles away. What I was actually trying to show on your screen, and what he was saying, for those of you who couldn't hear, was that we did demonstrate the other night how the parts kind of stacked up, and that's what I was trying to show. So here, the Mark III. I'm looking for the Mark II. I must be missing it somewhere. The Mark II. I'm looking on my screen. To stop touching your microphone, Hammy! God. Dude, that's you, dude. Stop it. Oh, my God. Is this your new headphone? Is this the brand?
No,
is this the brand new?
These are the ones that I've had before. I have no idea what's
send that back on warranty there, buddy. Stop touching things. Just don't move. Don't move. Anymore! Stop it! Oh, my God. Change headphones. Change headphones. I'm muting you. Sorry. This is terrible.
He's flatlined. We're losing him, Doctor.
Hammy, it's the cord. All right, or the mic. I don't know. That was awful. That was terrible.
Okay, I want to keep going. One other thing,
please. Yes.
So unfortunately, I don't think you could see it when you were sharing your screen. I'm not sure why it's not there. But the other thing you get is an ability. The refits, they give you their efficiency, but they give you an ability, and that ability is supposed to allow you to hit targets that you previously couldn't. Like, the ability is insane. I think the Mark II one that you were looking for gives you 40,000 apex barrier or something like that. And so these abilities allow you to hit the Armada targets that are higher level that previously you couldn't hit. And so your ship it does reset to tier 1, but its capabilities through the buff on the refit allow it to be even better than it was. That's the intention. And so now you can hit these targets on these higher level Armadas that give you even more loot. And so that basically, it doesn't reset your loop, you get to keep going. And so as you upgrade back to where you were, you're just building even more power on top of now your evolved version of the ship with the extra ability. And those abilities are actually different. They're not just stats. The Mark II one is 40,000 apex, but I think the Mark I ability was like plus 10 shots or something like that. And so these abilities just stack to make your ship better and better and better with every evolution.
Yeah, coming in, I finally found that one. It is an uncommon. So yes, it increases shots by 10 against the solo and group armadas. And then, of course, you got the parts efficiency over there. As he mentioned, the Mark III is the apex barrier. And then, of course, I don't even know what Mark IV is. That's not the right one. But so, yeah.
Or
So
is just efficiency, as far as I believe it's just efficiency.
Gotcha.
And that one's more of the final ultimate mastery, make your refinery the absolute best, final upgrade. And then, of course, the efficiency is huge on that one. So once you rebuild your ship again, it's going to take significantly less time.
So that may be one of the pitfalls, if you will, that I'd like to ask you about, Mr. Tiger, because I am going to put this chart back up, the one that you were admiring. And by the way, shout out Jules Verne and Blue Mandalorian. Look, Tiger loves your charts. They're pretty and concise and all the data. So this is what he's talking about with the ship parts efficiency. Is every time you reset, you're not having to redo all of that progress. The first time you run through the first couple of tiers of Revenant, you're spending these number of parts. But after you scrap it, you're spending these number of parts. After you scrap it a second time, you're using these number of parts, at least in the uncommon range. So that's a lot better, right? This is the weird one right here. I have to ask you, Mr. Tiger, was this designed, or could this be a mathematical error? When we take a look at the Mark III components, all right? The tier 10 through tier 15 components, because that last mastery, you can't achieve it until you get to tier 15. Well, going to tier 10 costs 1 million of the thingies. Then 1.6 to go to 11. Then 1.9 to go to 12. Then 2.2 to go to 13. That's all great and good. Then we see 18.7 million to go to tier 15. Can you tell me a little bit about that last tier?
Yeah, we'll have to double check that just to make sure it's intended, but there's not supposed to be a big choke at the very end in that regard until you've hit the final evolution, you're coming back, and then it's a little bit. So I'll have to double check those numbers. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but there's not supposed to be this sudden massive spike where it's triple the cost at the very end or something. Stupid.
Oh, it's 10x, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's
10x.
The case, we'll have to investigate it.
Okay, well,
sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was something that we wanted to address because you did have players who seemingly were kind of excited about the resources and materials, which we're going to talk about in a moment. You had mentioned the payouts, the max payout, the big rewards of this ship. You designed it to be resources and materials, not only traditional, but Sigma, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, that last hurdle. So I'm glad to hear that took some players by surprise. I'm glad to hear that may be investigated, because I know, Griffin, that took you by surprise. The other night we were playing with it. K9 Tooth, Jonathan Ingram, that took you guys by surprise because you were there. And you were doing it. You were investing in the ship.
And by the way, I do want to add, I'm not saying that, this is a bug we're going to fix. I'm just saying that another designer worked on that, who did a great job on the ship. I wasn't like the point man on this, so I don't know the specifics of that exact bracket. I just want to check with him before I say anything specific, but we will look into it. Because just looking at the numbers on that sheet right there, it looks a little weird, right? Like, it doesn't look like something we would normally balance for, so I just want to check it and make sure I'm not missing something. But we will investigate. Guarantee.
Fantastic. Griffin, you were asking a question? No, what? I lost Griffin. Griffin, why are you quiet? I didn't mute you. No, I didn't mute. I didn't mute you, but Hammy's back. I didn't mute you, Griffin. Why are you gone? I didn't mute him, lost in. You know what? The technical production capabilities of this show, we try to get to 100%, and we just literally never can get across the finish line, guys. I did not mute him, all right? Griffin, I didn't mute you. Press the button and come back and talk. You are on the same channel as Hammy, all right? Like, I can't break that. You're on the same channel as Hammy. If I can hear Hammy, I should be able to hear you. It's on your side. Yes. Oh my God.
Well,
it's killing me.
Yay, bugs.
All right, Hammy.
Let's keep going with the show.
can't make anything work around here. So let's talk, Mr. Tiger,
I
about.
fool about this.
I did not. Griffin did. Let's talk about the reward outcome here. You built this ship, what looks to be like Moonavine 2.0, almost, right? The big resource and material payout. Tell us a little bit about why game design thought that this would be the next step in the economy, and what were your hopes and intentions with this thing as far as resource and material payouts?
Yeah, step one, we're not stopping here. You'll notice that there's no ship parts.
Yes.
We probably want ship parts in the future.
We did notice that, yes.
Interesting fact. Okay. Anyway, so Why materials? Why Sigma? Those are two very, very important parts of the game. I think especially for G6, the Sigma, there's not a lot of sources for that. This ship isn't actually built primarily for G6, but we do want to include them. It's primarily for getting everyone upgrading faster towards G6 so that players aren't so spread apart. The game, you can kind of sit still a lot in the game, and we wanted to give players a reason and more incentive to, hey, let's move up a little bit. Here's a great source. Get the ship, and it gives you the best sourcing in the game. And you'll notice that one of the things we were very intentional about is giving guaranteed rares and uncommons.
Yes.
Refineries to date have always given, like historically, they haven't given anything consistent but commons. And then eventually, over time, we started to add uncommons as guaranteed. And this is the first feature that gives you guaranteed rares. And that is because, well, there's a lot of things that cost that. And especially your station modules and whatnot. And we just want people to be upgrading and feeling like they can upgrade it without having to make massive choices. Oh, what am I going to do? Is it going to be my station or my ships and just waiting around? This is supposed to accelerate quickly. And so, yes, it's absolutely Monavine 2.0, where it's giving lots of materials to help with all your material needs, but also lots of soft currencies, is how we call it, par steel, titanium, dilithium, to help out with that as well. And so the intention is to be the best source in the game at this for now, and then continue to expand to accelerate everyone in the ship parts as well in the future.
So that was going to be one of the questions that I had for you. And, of course, we've got some more wonderful Jules data on the screen right now regarding the solo Armada payouts. We've got the group Armada payouts down here. And, again, a lot of great information here regarding the resources. And the resources, so it looks like we've broken this into kind of two phases. The resources predominantly are coming as Armada loot, right? That's coming from the solo Armadas. That's coming from the group Armadas. That's where all of the Sigma and soft resources are coming. Is that right?
Yep.
And then where are the materials coming?
So the materials come in part from those, but the large portion of those are behind the fabricator bundles. And the whole intention of the fabricator bundles is you choose what you want, right? Like, we can just flood the market, I guess, with all these materials and hope that you find value in them. But I think a lot of players, myself included, we want something specific. For example, right now, I'm upgrading my battleship and I want to upgrade my station. Both those things have high ore demands. I have tons of crystal. I have tons of gas because I'm so starved for ore. And so a feature like this, not only is it giving you guaranteed mats of the rarities that you actually need, but it's also allowing you to pick which ones you want, and that's the intention of the fabricator bundles is I pick what I want. I can invest in that, and I can get guaranteed in that specific thing.
So this is what we're looking at on the screen, and for those of you in podcasts, we're looking at the fabricator refineries. You're saying that the fabricator choice tokens are going to give a fixed amount of uncommon, rare, and epic, along with some chance items, but of a specific material, meaning I get to choose whether that is gas or crystal. Is that right?
And then the base refines do give you just like a bunch as well. So you're getting some just for doing the base refines of the Armadas and the Solar Armadas. And then when you go in there, you get additional choice as well. You're getting a little of everything and then your choice of something.
Okay. All right. And then we also have this advanced fabricator, which I thought was an interesting kind of mechanic here, and I wanted to chew on your ear a little bit about this. Tell me a little bit about these evolution gifts and the advanced fabricator. What is the thought process kind of behind these? Because this is an actual limited time refinery, if you will. This is a little bit of a new concept that you've brought into the game. Tell me about these gifts and the advanced fabricator. Why do players want to chase that, and why is it different than the normal fabricator?
I guess the first thing I'd say is I wouldn't look at it as chasing this. I guess maybe in a way. It's not limited time and that you have to rush for it. When you get it, you get it. And the intention of this is pretty much we sat down and we thought, let's make the players feel awesome for evolving their ship. Don't just click a button and reset everything. Like, give them something sweet. And so what these tokens are, you can think of them similar to the monthly like resource chest tokens, where if you get that pack, you get a whole bunch of resources up front, and then every day you can log in and get that extra claim. Every day you log in. That's kind of what this is. When you evolve your ship, you get a whole bunch of cool stuff right away. There's a free reward chest. And then there's also for the next 10 days, you can log in and claim this bundle. Now, when we say for the next 10 days, it doesn't mean every day you have to log in. It just means that you have a total of 10 claims worth. So over the span of 10 total days, you could do one today and one in a week and then one in a year. You have 10 total claims of that cool bundle ever. And so you're not time constrained. It's just you have 10 claims ever.
Which was going to be
a lot of when you built in that elite loot exchange into the Bajoran loop. Not only do you have that awesome reward from the epic loot, but you got that little extra thank you for playing, which was what
that's exactly like
was,
that.
Right?
Yes, 100%, just like the edicts we did for the Bajoran Solar Armadas.
So this has been a question that has been asked in chat, and yes, I was just going to send him a DM. Griffin, you are still so quiet. I don't know. You're messing all kinds of audio stuff up over there. Then you muted yourself, and then now you sound 7 miles away. So we'll work on that. We'll continue working on that. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let me ask this question that a lot of players have asked regarding the advanced fabricator chips. Okay, as you just mentioned, there's not a timer on the advanced fabricator bundle, meaning you could pull one today, one in a week, one in a year. So we're just getting 10 of those tokens. Are they evolution specific? As in, could I take the Mark II advanced fabricator chips and maybe hang on until I got to Mark III and then spend 20 on Mark III?
First of all, how dare you? You devious. Why would you ever try to find some little sneaky back way of doing it? But no, you can't do it. They're all specific to their evolution. So basically, as soon as you get it, you want to claim them as soon as you can. There's not really any scaling there.
So players should not hold their advanced fabricator chips for a future evolution.
No, you should not. And in general, I would not encourage hoarding. However, I do hoard myself when I play this game. I'm looking at you, NX01 chips. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to hoard something, which totally you shouldn't, you could hoard the base refinery chips. The
normal fabricator ones, but not the advanced.
If you're going to hoard something, which don't, but if you're going to, that's the one, not the evolutions.
Okay, so specifically, when we're looking here at the advanced fabricator chips, you're saying that the currency is different for the Mark II bundle as compared to the Mark III bundle.
Yeah, they should all be different ones.
Okay. All right, so there you guys go. Base fabricator chips, yes, wire speed, those carry over, but the advanced fabricator chips are a unique currency and will not carry across evolution. So before, this is interesting then. Griffin, in speed tiering his ship yesterday, then in effect gave up all 10 days worth of advanced fabricator chips, right?
Should still have all those.
No, I have them.
You still have all those. They stack up now. Now he can claim Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, all of them now.
Okay, so you don't lose them. So you still have the Mark II advanced refinery, the Mark III advanced refinery that you get to pull both of. Okay. And all right then. Well, that's good that you don't lose those out. So you still get to pull the Mark II and Mark III until you just run out. And then what? Those bundles just stick around? They stay there, or do they have a shelf life of 10 and then they'll disappear?
Exactly. After your 10th claim, they're gone.
Okay. Lost In says, so to be clear, Mr. Tiger is saying, wink, wink, don't hold the base fabricator chips. Wink, wink. Yeah,
I'm saying do what you need. And here's the thing, like the thing that it's interesting tension to balance as a player, and I balance this when I'm playing too, is if I hold off on everything, I'll never progress. So I'll never even get to that next level where I would want to use the chips for that I'm hoarding it for. And so you want to save some of them probably, but you want to spend some of them to help you progress. And that tension, that balance, you have to choose what that's going to look like for you based on your account.
So the chat is asking this question as well, which I'd like to come back to the sheet. And I think, based on what we're seeing here in the data chart, it might be answered. Is there any change in the rewards as you level up your ops, or are these segmented by generation? Like, for example, we've got the 42 plus refinery. Is that the same for a 42 and an ops 49, or do they, in fact, scale by ops?
Are some ops segmentations of the different segments as you tier up your ship with the different tiers. However, all of those, I think there was an issue with the tooltips. Usually I have very robust tooltips when we release bundles for content, but I think there was an error that we accidentally shipped with. And so I think those were pulled back. But once we get those back in, I'm not sure if they're in right now, they might be. Once we get those back in, if you look at the tooltip, like the odds information of each bundle, it will tell you what ops bracket you need to be in or what ship tier you need to be in to hit that next upgrade. So if you click on a bundle, you have to go to a fabricator or even that one. Yeah, the odds info got pulled out. So normally you'd have that button on the top right.
Yeah, the I button.
We did, yeah. That's coming back in the future, so you should be able to see when your next segment's coming. It really bugs me that that's not in right now. We just had to pull it out because of a bug. So that's coming hopefully soon, once we get it sorted.
So there is going to be then incentive, community, towards leveling up your ops, even within an evolutionary segment to increase your rewards. Okay, very good.
Yeah. A good example of this is at 61 plus, the segments start to include things like Sigma. And so obviously you're going to want that, but there are other segments too, like at certain brackets for grade 5 players, they start to get grade specific things for them, etc. It's kind of like the Monavine in that way, if you remember, where we did this double segmentation. So not only do you want to tier up, but you also want ops up, and both of those things are going to increase, and there's kind of a 2-layered array for that.
Okay. So let me ask this question, and this is one that I posed to you earlier today. This one is more of a targeting issue. You already said that the ship is meant to help fast-track progression, but here we are a year into G6, and we are seeing some players who are at the cap of progression. If this ship is all resources and materials, is it worth anything to players who don't need those things? And that would be the huge spenders or Ops 70 people who are capped out. And it could also be the campers out there, the Perma 39s or the Perma 40s. Like, would you say that this ship does or will have a reason for somebody to invest in if resources and materials are not their need?
Good question. And I think we should break it down a little bit, because the primary goal is definitely materials and titanium, power steel, dilithium. However, it does have what I think is a very cool hook with the chaos tech. Just by owning the ship, you can get a bonus to the payouts in some of the chaos, the Continuum refineries. And then also, of course, the ship sources a research project that goes even further with that. And then the ship itself has massive loot bonuses, so it reduces that grind. It actually pretty much trivializes that grind at some point, which is awesome. So you can basically get double rolls with massive increased payouts just by owning the ship. And so definitely, if you see value in Chaos Tech, which we hope that you do, and that is a feature that's going to continue to expand, it is the best at sourcing that. Full stop. I mean, it's the only way to source it pretty much. Like the other way, without that ship, you're probably not going to be getting a 2-roll all the time. Like that's pretty expensive. Maybe you will, but you probably won't. And so it's good for sourcing Chaos Tech shards. It's good for sourcing Chaos Tech materials. It is the best at doing that. And so if you don't see value in the material side, hopefully you see value in the Chaos Tech side. But then also I think maybe a bit of a cheeky question is, if you don't see value in Chaos Tech, you don't see value in materials, you don't see value in soft currency, like what do you see value in? What's left for you? And I know there are some players who are level 7 who are at that point.
Right.
But if we're not seeing value in almost all the core parts of our game, it's very difficult to serve that. And one of the pieces of feedback we've gotten a lot, especially from some of our very high people who are in the game, who are very progressed in the game, they've said to us, hey, we need ship parts, specifically rare ship parts in grade 6. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, this has been well heard. This is not the ship that's going to do that. The ship is very focused on materials, but I do understand that is a need, and there are things coming in the future to hopefully address those concerns as well. It's hard to have one ship serve everyone in the game, but I think the ship does a very good job at targeting materials, currencies, and things that are very relevant for the majority of our players. That's the hope. If that's not true, I would love to hear discussion on that.
Let me ask, as we continue to introduce more content into the game, there are certain mechanics that will sunset and replace previous mechanics. As a matter of fact, just a month or two ago, the Independent Archives came out, wildly well received by the community, and Monavine was there. If you were addressing a player that is just now hitting Ops 40, we've got the Revenant that is available at Ops 42, Monavine is available at Ops 40. Would you recommend to a player that's just coming up through G4 to pursue both of these loops, or is the Revenant just better hands out than the Monavine? Like, is this meant to be you no longer have to do the Monavine and the Texas class, and now let's focus on the Revenant?
Say that. It's definitely better. So if you're going to choose one, maybe I'm biased, but I think that I would choose the Revenant. It's more modern, right?
You wrote it.
With how values go
You're
into the game,
biased.
like, it's better. I would say go for that first. However, like let's not discard that these things do stack, and they're both pretty good. And the Monavine is a hands-off ship in large part.
That's true.
It's pretty much just you throw it in space and it just does its thing.
Yeah.
And so I would say they're both different. 1-to-1 value wise, I would say the Revenant it wins out. But in terms of ease of use, it's kind of just like for me in my game, the Monavine is just like a free permanent source of these materials. Right? And so they're different, and I would encourage you to do both because the Monavine, the intent is combat mining. That's what it does. It's the only ship that does that.
You know, a lot of people out there talk about that, about the Monavine being an incredible combat ship. You know, a lot of times the community will come out, Mr. Tiger, and say, well, we don't necessarily want a one-trick pony. And I do think that you guys have done a little better with that over the last year or two, trying to avoid the one-trick pony, trying to avoid the Stellas, the Franklins, and trying to offer some other utility. Monavine really did well in hitting that mark. I think Voyager has done super well in hitting that mark. The NX-01 has done really well in hitting that mark. And what I'm referring to is NX-01 is your warp range, your exploration ship, which is narratively fitting. Your Voyager is an incredibly fast ship. I know a lot of people use it for hunting. It's a speed ship. You've got the Protector, which is great in the Mirror Universe. We're also seeing huge benefits to the Protector in arenas. So we've gotten away from that a little bit. Do you expect, and then the Monavine being a great battleship, do you expect that the Revenant is going to appear useful in other areas of the game? If you were, as the designer of the ship or the designer of the team, where is this ship's secondary use, or has it been discovered yet?
To be discovered, probably. Its primary use is obviously going to be or secondary use outside its core, its own loop, is the Chaos Tech hostiles, but that's kind of like a side thing. In terms of its core value, I think it's got great cargo. I think it's a pretty fast ship, and I would like to see how people strategize to use it in the future. And you're right, we do want to make sure we try to make them have value outside their loop. And oftentimes the value is stuff that players come up with that's really cool that we didn't even think of. And so trying to make it a sandbox for them to explore with is kind of a goal. And it's very difficult to balance for like 5 different things at once. So the primary focus is, of course, its own loop and its Chaos Tech tie-in. But we also did give it a good cargo size, which, by the way, it does not need. Because when you kill those hostiles, or the Solar Armadas, that loot goes straight to your inventory. And so that cargo space is just for you to use for auxiliary outside of its own loop.
Yeah, that and I guess the hostiles, it'll help with the hostiles there a little bit. But again, most of that loot with a normal ship was actually coming from the chest. But now with the loot bonuses of the ship, there's actually going to be viability to the cargo size of that ship as well. So that's very, very good. Now, you had mentioned a second ago that Chaos Tech is going to be a big piece of this. And Tarpy asked a great question in chat. This is actually one that you and I talked about earlier today regarding the Chaos Tech and the sourcing that is provided. First of all, the sourcing that is provided by the Revenant is fantastic. But I want to go one step further and say that the sourcing of Chaos Tech that is available without having the requirement of the Revenant, I thought was a very bold move. I thought that was very player friendly. We had concern, right? When we saw that at the beginning, we were a little bit worried, Hammy, that okay, well, we're going to start sourcing Chaos Tech, but the paywalled Chaos Tech is going to be paywalled behind the paywalled Revenant. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that didn't end up being the case. You guys came out and said, okay, we're going to start sourcing Chaos Tech. It's going to be a little bit slow, but there's a grinder's path there, which is what we typically ask for. And it was just launched this month. No requirements, no other bundles, no other requirements or prerequisites. Just, hey, we're going to start giving you the Chaos Tech that we just introduced only 30 days ago. And then owning the Revenant is going to increase the number of shards that we can get from that daily free drip. The big win here is that you're sourcing these Chaos Techs only 30 days after launch. Are we going to see that pattern continue?
I love that pattern. We aren't always able to do it. I'm not going to make a promise to you right here. But where we can, it's the same thing we did where we put Cisco and a couple of the Armada crews associated with him in the Bajoran faction on the day it launched. Where we can do that, I think it's always well received, and we can, and we should do it. It doesn't always work out, though, and we can't always do it. Fun fact, I actually wanted to launch that with the initial launch of those new hostels. Like immediately, but we had to delay it for some internal stuff that was going on. And so that was just kind of, okay, well, we can't do it initially. Let's just bump it back 1 month and plan it. And so even if we don't launch something with sourcing within 30 days, which is really cool and we can, we are trying to plan for when are we going to put out these free pass to these things for players. Because I don't think a game's fun when the majority of content's all paywalled behind, buy this to buy this to buy this.
Sure,
that's not
yeah.
fun. It's nice when people can get early access on things. That's great. If they want to buy it on the first month. But we do want to make sure that at some point, a lot of this core content, especially when it's brand new, cool, flashy things, those get into players' hands sooner rather than later. And so that's kind of one of the reasons behind that. It was a personal thing. I was in charge of Chaos Tech. I wanted it to be available as soon as possible.
I love that answer because there are times when we will, as a community, will pose that question, and it's, hey, well, we're discussing ways to source that in the future, but there's never really that official answer, right, Hammy? Well, we're looking into it. There's conversations being had about what we're going to do with this. I don't know, maybe the whip is something we can talk about. Something like that we can talk about. Yes, Hammy.
Did you see what I just put in chat right now?
No.
The whip is my white whale.
Yeah, I know. You've been chasing it.
I've been going after that one for months and months and months. I think as long as I've been a CM over on official.
Yeah.
So I haven't forgotten. It's number one on my list. I don't have a tattoo of it yet, but it's probably in my
We're
future.
working on it.
I'm just going to say
your
that.
eyebrows.
Yeah. We'll work on something like that. Tiger, that actually brings up a question. One of the things that you and I had kind of mentioned earlier, and Tarpey, I didn't forget about you. It's on the list. All right, you just got to give me a second to read all the questions. We've got great topics tonight from Mr. Tiger. You are responsible for the Chaos Tech. You wanted the sourcing there, and we see the sourcing early. Two questions to this follow-up. A, being the person responsible for Chaos Tech, in this case, the new Chaos Techs that were launched this month, are we going to see a 30-day add to this bundle? Like, will we see the Chaos Techs that you launched this month, are they going to pop into this bundle in 30 days?
If you swipe your credit card, I can give you those in a bundle in 30 days. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There it is, everybody.
Somebody play that cash register sound, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's there.
Okay. Yeah, but no, for real, I don't know. We haven't discussed the strategy yet. I would guess probably not. It's like what we've done in the past with the Voyager ship, and it sources like a couple artifacts in its loop. We'll probably just throw the future Chaos Tech behind another cool thing and give you another path to the other ones. Because here's one of the things. This thing I think is underrated topic of discussion. If we just add, let's say, another stack of 4 Chaos Tech to a refinery like that, that actually slows the rate at what you're gonna pull the initial Chaos Tech. Because if you have to get 100 shards for this and 100 shards for that and 100 shards for that, just adding more doesn't necessarily benefit you, right? And so I think it's actually, this is my personal view, but I think it's actually better to just have a different claim somewhere else, tied to something else that allows you to get it through that. And then at some point, this one gets sourced a little bit more liberally, and it becomes a little bit easier to get. Boom, you get all those 4, and you have different 4 from different source, etc. I think it actually works better. I get that it doesn't sound as good in paper, but I think the experience is actually better, at least to me, of having just multiple new sources. So we probably will source the other Chaos Tech in the future, just in a different way. That's my guess. But again, nothing's locked in.
I think that makes...
Sounds good. I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
That makes perfect sense to me, and if you could go find the person in charge of the Ultra Recruit bundle and explain that to them, that'd be just fantastic.
I was going to say, there's only 100 officers in that one. And dilution is a thing. We've talked about that community, about dilution. And so that's kind of exactly what he's referring to here. If we add extra Chaos Techs into this bundle, then it makes it harder to get Q's Cannon unlocked. It makes it harder to get the Temporal Conduit unlocked because the odds are going to be spread out a little thinner. So
there's more but less at the same time.
I love that concept, as provided that we also look at the sourcing on those other chaos techs to be somewhat timely. And if I'm going to use that as a transition, which may or may not be your product, I have no idea. You and I haven't personally discussed this, but we have yet to see amazing forbidden tech sourcing. And here we are on what we might call as a community phase 2 with chaos tech of your gear system. And we're already seeing what may appear to be better sourcing on chaos tech than we are on forbidden tech. Are you able to offer any insight into sourcing on the forbidden tech? Is there a way that you feel like you could intelligently design more forbidden tech to be available for the community within a similar sourcing style?
Good idea. I haven't personally looked enough into it, but I've actually seen, so in the last couple of days, I've done several Q&As and discussions and deep dives with the players, and now I'm here, and I'm hearing the same thing again and again. And so that is a note that I've personally taken, and something I do want to look into. I'm not going to make any promises, but I do think that we could open up sourcing. I know there's a lot of different sources, but a lot of the sources we have for forbidden tech are also including things like, oh, you have a chance of pulling trial bells. Like, I don't know about you guys. I don't necessarily need more trial bells, man. I just want some materials. What? And so I think stepping in that direction might be useful long term. I'm not going to make any promises, but it's something I am personally looking into.
Listen, there's a reason that was just launched this month that trial bells are no longer something that I don't want. All right. I think you're right. Leading up to this month, players who owned the whip. That's the key. Players who owned the whip probably had tons and tons of bells. Bells are still a source of contention for players who don't have the whip, I believe. And now we've got, Hammy, we'll talk to you here in a little bit, these new daily minis, all right, that are going to involve bells. We've seen solo leaderboards over the last week or two that involve bells, and those rewards were good. So we're going to talk about these events and this new shuffle coming up here in a little bit. I don't want to completely disavow bells. I think bells have maybe possibly gotten a slightly renewed sense of urgency about them. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later.
Some more bells? I give you more bells.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to bells, okay? I mean, look at the chat. Guys, I threw a shield. I see you. Thank you. Jonathan Ingram on the State of the Game address, Hammy, thought it would be appropriate to come and raid me live. So thank you very much.
It would be. Yes, I agree.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The chat is throwing out the fact that, listen, bells are not a bad thing. They lead to protomatter, which ironically has been a thing. I will point out that the chaos techs that source the tier up catalyst have been made a little bit more available thanks to Alliance tournaments. Hammy, which we're going to talk about coming up here in a little bit. We gotta talk about them Alliance tournaments. All right.
Ooh.
Huh? What? What are you pointing at me for?
He better not say that they're canceled again this month, or I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you better, Hammy.
Oh, this old chestnut.
Yeah,
I never said they were
talking about them tournaments.
Were not canceled.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What?
I said they were not canceled.
Did you see how he just glanced off screen, guys? He was getting a note from somebody. You see that? No. Yeah.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
It's okay.
We're going to talk about that.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got him in the palm of my hand.
You do not, sir. You come out here with bad news on tournaments, it's going to be a bad night, all right? Tiger, let's talk a little bit about your gear system, okay? And I love, by the way you described that to us last month. I think that this whole technology thing has a lot of potential. I love the idea of chaos tech. I think that month one's chaos techs were possibly a little conservative, barring the Q's cannon. This month, I feel better about them. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just that we're warming up to them as a community, but I like this potential gear system. So let me spend a couple of minutes and do two things. One, I would like to know where you see this going. There's a bunch of chaos tech that came this month. You've already said that there's more that's going to be coming. I would like to maybe ping your brain a little bit or see if you've got some thoughts, any questions for the community about chaos tech items that you guys may or may not be developing, and what is the next piece of your gear system?
I can't tell you specifics of what we're doing next for Chaos Tech, although I can say there are more in the works for sure. What I can say is that I've been absolutely loving seeing all the ideas come in of what Chaos Tech could be. That's been super inspiring. Now, some of them I think might be a little niche, but maybe some of those could work really well. Like I've heard some great ideas for things like hazard resistances and other kinds of efficiencies.
Yeah.
So I think right now a lot of the Chaos Tech are focused on combat type of stuff, whether it's against PvE or it's against PvP. It's very combat focused. But I think there's a lot of space that's largely untouched right now for efficiencies. Things that are just new and interesting and different that are utility, efficiency, and just focus on traversing through spaces like hazards and mirror universe and all these things that just make that better and more fun. Even things that are kind of gimmicky, I was thinking about, and I'm not saying we're going to do this, but I thought, what if we had a Chaos Tech that just turned off the Zindi super weapon? Boom, that ability's gone. Okay. Or a Chaos Tech that, hey, reflected or deflected, or I think we talked about this last time on your show, like something with the Borg Cube beam. And things like that that are just novel and interesting and different. That's where I want to see the gear system go. Not just combat stuff, but everything. Start to really tap into some of those core concerns that players are going through and just make stuff that people want on their ship. I don't want to make something if you don't want it. Like, come on.
Look at the chat right now. This is an interesting thing. Now, this is where, admittedly, community, I'm going to tell you right now, this is where I love having Tarpy. I love having Matters. I love having Karkin present these ideas. I see this in the chat right now. Players like Griffin and myself would lat through our ship XP. All right, we would. But one thing that we've noticed here with the later ships, and I've noticed as well, that the ships that have come out over the last year, particularly the specialty ships, they have significantly higher XP needs than what they used to have, right? So I see this in chat. This is actually getting a lot of traction right now, Mr. Tiger, would be a Chaos Tech to significantly boost the acquisition of ship XP. You do have some players that will spend on it. You got some players that will lat that out. But there are a lot of players who are using Texas-class space, that are using outlaw
big
space.
Right there. That's impressively large.
They are large. Using outlaw space to grind XP for their ships to try to level them up. There are grinders out there and some low-spend players that can't lat out the millions of ship XP that it takes to tier up the Monavine, for example. I mean, it's millions, So I think that's one that the chat is talking about right here. Hazard resistance, they love that idea. There's some good stuff right there. Let me ask, community, if you were throwing 2 or 3 ideas into the hat for Chaos Tech, you've got a game designer right here that's writing them, that owns the Chaos Tech feature. What do you see? What do you want to see next? Hammy, if you were going to write a Chaos Tech, what would it be?
Oh, dude, you know what it's going to be.
Strike team mining.
Yeah.
It's going to be automated defenses. Automated defenses for miners.
For defenders that are mining.
Oh, God.
I think it's a great idea. I love that.
We've got a
trap-focused Chaos Tech.
DJ, you're the only one. DJ, you're the only one that doesn't like this idea.
I do not like this idea.
Everybody else is on board.
I do not like this idea.
What's really cool about Chaos Tech is we can do different rarities of them. And so if something is, let's say, less valuable generally to, say, someone like yourself, DJ, you don't care about ship XP, but some people might, that's just a common. Make it a common and call it a day. It's easy to get, doesn't take that much effort, slap it on your ship, you're chilling. I think that's one of the cool things, right?
Yeah, I'd love something like that. I'm sure the community would too. Griffin, what about you? And we'll go around the horn here real quick. I mean, again, we've got the game designer of Chaos Tech, guys. What do you want to see? Matters is throwing out, here would be the pan ultimate. No, hang on, I'm coming. Matters, do you want to read this out loud? Because this is not even an epic Chaos Tech. This is like ultra legendary. Throw out.
Sure.
Yeah. What are your 3 requests for a Chaos Tech? This wouldn't be a Chaos Tech, by the way. This would be like a God Mode Tech.
Yeah, it would. All in one. Warp range boost and hazard resistance and impulse speed boost.
Yeah. Hey, how about that one, Mr. Tiger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like that one.
Super exploration tech.
Yeah, that would be big. All right, Griffin is dying. Go ahead. What Chaos Tech do you want to see?
I want a cutting beam deflector, cutting beam deflection dish.
Ooh,
Nice.
Get rid of the board
I
cutting.
love that so much.
Yeah. Oh, I would totally
by
use that.
percentage or by the, you tear it up all the way, you get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, you don't want to get rid of the whole thing. You don't want to get rid of the whole thing.
95% of it.
I don't know if you wanted the. I don't know if you wanted the whole thing, but I mean, I would like to see. I would like to see that an ability to combat the lethality. Is that a word?
Yes.
The lethality of the board cutting beam. I'll tell you what. Okay, that's a lie. I was getting ready to say there is nothing more frustrating in arenas than a cutting beam, but that would be a lie, wouldn't it, Heavy? That would be a lie. But no, the cutting beam, that is a lot of people will talk about that. A lot of people focus in on that as being an issue. Real quick, community, we have only moments left. All right, literally 2 to 3 minutes. Twitch is going to make me take a commercial break here in just a moment as well. So we've got 3 minutes left. Let me bang through a couple of these questions since we did not get to all of them. I'm going to try to move through these very quickly. And actually ask about officers, okay? We might not have a whole lot of time to dive in, and this might be a conversation we got to pick back up another day. But this new set of strike teams, Mr. Tiger, first of all, early testing on these kind of reveal a double-edged sword. They reveal the fact that they are not as game-breaking as Carol Freeman, which is probably a breath of relief for game design. But at the same time, that makes them a little bit more challenging as far as the appeal factor. Why should players want to invest in these officers? Because right now, you got to have all three. They really do not function outside of their own set. You got to have all three. Right now, they are predominantly paid. And Mirror Universe, Freeman, original strike team are performing on par with these guys. Why should I want them?
Yeah, we're going to have to monitor to make sure that results are what we want. But the intention is if you're in a neutral or positive position, meaning that, if you're on a battleship, it's battleship or battleship versus explorer. If you're in the position where you're neutral or at advantage, you should be better than the strike teams. If you're not, that's something we're going to monitor. Okay, so if there's test results coming in, this and that, and it's looking like they're not as strong as they should be, that's fair feedback. That's something we definitely want to be keeping an eye on. But we want them to be the best of that. That said, I think it's good that we don't have officers that completely decimate and blow everything out of the water. It's good when there is some variation. It's not good when the newest officers aren't the best. So that's the thing we're going to definitely be keeping eyes on the most. I'm not sure that that's entirely true. We'll have to just continue to monitor to see. However, we don't want them to just be so far above everything else that it's like it completely deprecates them. I think that's a bad meta because it devalues what you already had. And so having some variation of this can slot in that, I can still overcome my opponent, and this is a little bit better, this is that, it can create a more balanced and interesting meta. So again, it's new. We are going to continue to monitor to make sure that the results are what we want. And if we have to buff things, we will. I'm not convinced that we're there yet. That said, though, they're not supposed to be completely flatlining everything else like Freeman did when that officer first came out. I think that was a bit much.
I know. It was just totally surprising and shocking, too. Absolutely nobody saw that coming. It was just a total shock to the system there, that whole Carol Freeman incident. So those of you who have been with me for a while know where I'm driving with that. That's right, Lost it. Nobody saw that coming.
A bad dinner at Echoes.
That was actually a great dinner at Echoes, but we're going to have to just shut off all communications this day. That's right. Tarpy says I'm not allowed to fly to Los Angeles anymore. Anytime that happens, something happens dangerous. All right, listen, guys.
In 10 seconds or less, because I think you might hear me a little better now. What I do like about these new officers is the wild cards that are being thrown into the below deck. I do want to encourage that. Like, for example, Rami, I got 15,000 Apex barrier below deck with hull breach, which already have 100% on Taurus. I think things like that are fun.
Yeah. Taurus doesn't give you hull breach in PvP, you goofball. God, you're such
that's not what I meant. No. I meant the forbidden tech that now has the hull breach.
Oh, okay. Well, and that's fair. And honestly, if those were the officers that that I was particularly interested in, it would be those, right? The below deck abilities I find to be more attractive than the...
They're really fun.
I find those to be more attractive than the Bridge Crew set of that. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I appreciate you taking the time and watching those because and again, I'm not advocating for something to decimate the game, but I am kind of just curious. Like I'm not feeling a lot of the impact on those.
Should be better,
yet.
by the way.
Okay.
They definitely should be better. I know it's going to take some time to get those officers.
They might have to be
tiered
up.
This,
Yeah, they might have to. And that's another thing. You got the original strike team that might be closer to max tier. But again, you got these new ones, and how long of a slog should it be before they start showing results? That's another thing as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at our time with the one and only Mr. Tiger. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I wish we had more time because I just feel like there's so much that you bring to the community. And I know that the community loves hearing from you. I know that you have been very, very public with your arcs, and people do like to tease you about your currencies. You are the currency king, buddy. People know that. When it's a Tiger
a lot of
arc,
currencies with the SSR. No, we didn't have many there. Right?
Yeah, there's some currencies that happen during a Tiger arc, but we do appreciate you coming out and spending time and directly hearing from the community. I think the community really, really enjoys that, hearing from you and being able to interact with you. So thank you so much for taking the time. It really
always a pleasure, and I totally screenshotted chat.
I'm sorry, what? Screenshotted what?
I screenshotted chat with all the amazing ideas for Chaos Tech. There's some amazing things in there.
Ooh, chat.
All those notes down. I love going through that. It's so fun for me.
All right, there you go. All right. There you go, guys. Your ideas directly in the hands of Game Design. We are going to bid him farewell and adieu for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only and my friend from Game Design at Star Trek Fleet Command, his name is Mr. Tiger. Thank you very much for being here, buddy. Thank you.
Yay, Tiger. Go, Tiger, go.
All right, guys, as Mr. Tiger steps out, we are also going to take a very quick break. And when we return here on the Talking Trek, State of the Game, newly revitalized and all the thing, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we've got more with Hammy because we've got events to talk about. We've got the March of Progress that we're going to shred to pieces. All right, and we're going to have a lot more on the other side of this break. So don't go anywhere. We have more to come right here on the stage of Talking Trek Live. My name is Ultimate DJs, and this is Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This portion of the show brought to you by crazybunch.org. Are you old like Bubba Joe and get tired playing video games? Surtail has a solution for your health and wellness needs, especially while gaming. You could try an energy gummy for those long incursion events, or just to keep yourself conscious while you're doing all that mining. Surtail is an independent distributor of all aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or visit crazybunch.org for more information.
Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about PvPtarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at PvPtarget.com.
Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com.
I came for the love. I came for the love.
I came for the, you came for the, she came for the, they came came for the, I came for the, you came for the, she came for the.
Good evening, everybody. Came for the low. What's going on? Welcome into the show. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast as we jam out to Hammy's incredible playlist tonight. I told him as we were preparing for the show that he continues to bring interesting, I don't know if I want to call it like off the radar kind of stuff, but Hammy, like your musical playlist here has, I never recognize the song titles or the artists that you bring me for your shows. Like I never do, but they're usually jams, dude. I kind of like it.
Thank you. And I just want to let you know that I will listen to a song for a little while before I know it's show ready for you.
Oh, okay,
so
good. Yes.
I like the ones that you bring. I'm going to keep bringing them. I love introducing people to crazy, weird music.
Yeah, and that right there, so from the artist called Zoo, ZHU, and Party with Ray, it's called Came for the Low, which is an ironic title, right, Prime Rex?
Yes.
Because Hammy is here to talk about the highs and lows of the ARC launch here thus far. We're only 48 hours in, but there are some frustrations early out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about those here tonight. It's not time for Hammy's happy hour yet, though, guys. It's not because we've got a few things that we're going to have to drill down on first, all right?
You got to wait for it.
Yeah, also welcoming back from break, there's Griffin. Wham says, ooh, so many bugs. You know, I don't know if I feel bugs, but I do feel math. I feel some weird math. I want to first talk about the most outrageous event that I have probably ever seen in this game. Yeah,
and that's saying something.
I don't know.
That's high praise.
I don't know that I have ever seen a game with milestones this out of sorts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at the March of Progress.
I was going to say, Here we go.
This is March of Progress for sure. Listen, you guys say that it's detached from reality. It's got to be a mistake. It just simply has to be a mistake. Hammy, I want to play a game with you. Can we play a game? Can we do this? I'm going to pull Hammy back on the screen.
Oh no!
I just want to play a game.
Mistake.
I just want to play a game here, if that's okay.
Okay.
I would like to. Oh my God, Tarpy! I need you to find me the Christmas themed chart that I sent you the other night. I don't know what I did with it. I've got the bright one, but I don't want to blind anybody. All right. Listen, before I put it up on screen though, I do just want to ask, Hammy, what is your ops, sir?
I'm presently 63.
63. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Can you go into your station view in your base at this point and pick out any building? Pick a building, any building, whatever building that you would be in line to upgrade next.
Right, ooh, that's a fun game.
Yeah. What's next? You're Op 63. What are you going to build this weekend when this weekend's auction comes up?
Probably, well, I don't really compete in the auctions, but for the sake of the conversation.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so my dry dock right now.
Oh, good. That's
would give
great.
me about what?
No, that's great. A dry dock. That's perfect. Okay,
a
dry dock.
It'd give me about 20K in power.
20. That is an excellent question. 20,000 in power. That is absolutely a wonderful example. 20,000 in power. Okay, let's play some math. Let's do some math. Hammy, what if I told you that at Op 63,
that's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
At Op 63, we're going to go building power. And you said 20,000? 20,000 power? Okay, 20,000 power. Hey, I've got great news for you, Hammy. If you were to build 4,225 of your dry docks, you could finish March of Progress. Mm-hmm. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Well, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Okay? You would only need 4,000 4,000 defense platform. Wait, dry docks, 4,000 dry docks for you to win the grand prize of 700 G6 rare ship parts.
Well, I could use those.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, I mean, I could use them too. We just got done talking about how valuable and rare, how hard to get rare ship parts are. I mean, I'm just telling you that it's a valuable prize. But the bigger news is don't worry about it, community, because this is a totally grindable event. All you got to do is build 4,225 dry docks, and you'll be able to finish this event.
I mean,
okay, the point's made. Now, Hamster,
Yeah.
you know what they're going to do to fix it.
Hold on.
I also like to point out you can also do research.
Yeah, there's research. Maybe we just got it wrong. Okay, maybe we just got it wrong. Let's look at research. Hammy, would you please be so kind as to just hop in a research tree? Just hop in a research tree.
That's not how we fix it, Hammy.
Yeah, no. Let's just take a look. Maybe you know what? I bet
you can also upgrade buildings.
I quit the game.
Let's take a look at a research, maybe a level 1 research. You know what? No.
Here's the thing: research scores even less than the buildings, right?
You know
I think
what?
Buildings are the most, if I'm not mistaken.
I did some math.
You did some math.
I did.
You did all the math.
I did some math. I just want players to know that it is again. You don't have 4,225 dry docks that you can build. That's okay. It would only take 1,800 prime researches to complete this event as well. 1,800. That's a lower number.
The number's coming down already.
Yeah, it's a lower number. Okay, you can do it. Listen, this is beyond heroic. It's beyond quantum. All right, this is like quantum heroic plus, baby. All right, 1,800 primes worth of research would finish this event.
Well,
so here's my conclusion, Hammy. This has to be a mistake. This has to be a mistake.
So far, we're I don't believe it is. But I will say, I'll tell you what. I will say this. I have been hearing this exact feedback from official since the event launched, and we are passing this back on the team. They're keeping an eye on things. They're monitoring, how it's going in game. But I think all day long yesterday and all day long today, I've been basically hearing about March of Progress nonstop. It's an endless march of progress.
It's a march to oblivion. That's why.
It's a march straight into the hell, to the realm of hell, dude.
It doesn't have to be that dark.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's that dark. It's literally that dark.
Hammy,
a march in the woods.
Here's what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Or here's what the game is asking. Let me rephrase. For an Ops 49 player, the game is asking for 20 million power in defense platforms. It's asking for 10 million power gained. Now, 10 million power gained in buildings. You just told me that at Ops 63, your defense platform offers you 20,000 power. So you tell me, how is an Ops 49 going to find 10 million power? The demonstration here, this chart right here, is actually representative of power gained requirements built by this event. I am here to tell you definitively and 100% verified by Spox.club and Jules Verne himself, there is not this much power that even exists in your game. I also want to share that if a player went from Ops 1 to Ops 60, they would not achieve 10 million in building power.
Like, even if Bubba Joe took his mom's account from 1 to 60 in a day?
There's not 10 million power. This is a mistake.
I don't know how Scopely hasn't acknowledged this yet. I mean, it's
look, the best I can do is that this is feedback that like I said, I've been hearing all week, or for at least the past 2 days, and I've raised this internally. Like the team is aware of a lot of the feedback that's coming in and what players are saying, and I've seen like a lot of numbers dropped into chat on Discord as well. So I'm not going to come out and say that yes, it's a mistake or anything like that, but I have heard how difficult this event is. This one stands out kind of more than any other event that we've rolled out this week. So the best I can tell you is that the feedback is being looked at, it is being heard, but I don't have an update for this event right now.
Okay. By the way, Trash Keeper, you're 1,000% wrong. He says 12 dry docks and you're done. Nope. That's not how it works. Sir. That is not how it works, all right? We are literally using stfc.space to look at the amount of power that a building gives. All right, I don't know where you're getting 12 dry docks, but my goodness, sir, you could not be more mistaken. Okay?
Send me, if you could also send me the chart that you had up, and I'm going to take that back with me too.
Happy to. As a matter of fact, I even made it Christmas themed. You guys want? Hey, listen, I
festive.
I didn't do like the entire chart, but I did decide to get into a little bit of spirit here, and I was trying to help you guys. See, I was trying to help you by demonstrating that all you had to do was feel jolly, and you would be able to score. For example, 27,066,667 power gained in research at Ops 48. I mean, it's obviously totally fine. Okay, so yeah, my eye is twitching. All right, so yeah, I would like to take this one back, buddy. This is clearly, and by the way, much love and respect. It's obviously an error. All right. I just need eyeballs on it. I've been escalating it. You've been hearing about it, and we've heard nothing on this event. It's been 48 hours, and common sense tells you that this event cannot possibly be accurate. All right? So Scopely's got to come out and react to this. It's mind-blowing that they haven't, okay? That being said, there are other events that you had updates on. There was an event, I believe, on day one that, again, is just math, right? Tell me, you had an announcement that came out on day one because there was a hostile event that was wild, right?
Yeah, there was. I think there was. It was the Revenant SLB that we ran. Was that the one that you're talking about on Tuesday?
I don't recall. No, here it is. The El Orion Hostile Hunt Solo Milestone. Feedback regarding it. Yeah, it was a milestone. We'll have to extend the time for completion on the next run. We'll be running another SMS that will offer more event store currency to make up for it. But this is a second example of just math, right? The math didn't work out on these. And the reason that I kind of rub some salt in the wound here, Hammy, is because, in all fairness, we haven't seen a lot of this. The new metrics that Chicago has talked to us about as far as event design and the templates and the automation processes you guys are using have been seemingly doing better. This is just a weird thing this month. Like, it's like all the statistics got dumped into a bucket and just randomly extracted, and I don't know where these numbers are coming from. What has happened over there?
I don't know if I would say it's all over the place. Like there's two events specifically that you've mentioned tonight that
I'm not done.
We should go back and take a look at the numbers.
I'm not done. Two so far.
but like what we've done with events, both daily, weekly, monthly, on top of the new Q's Continuum Part 2. Yes, there might be some events that need to be looked at again, but I think overall the execution has been pretty good.
Okay, listen, if you want to talk about the daily minis, you might actually curry some favor out of me on those. Now, I know, listen, the chat is lit up about that. I was actually talking to chat before the event, before the show tonight, and they were pretty fired up about the daily minis. Now, I am not as fired up about it because my position is no player in this game has ever completed 100% of their daily minis. Okay, that doesn't happen. You do those when they are opportunistic to you. I don't do the shipyard ones outside of an auction. If it happens to fall on a weekend where there's an auction that I'm going to participate on, then I will time my spend to fall on that and gain a few extra materials out of that. All right, but that's not an event that I'm looking at every day and be like, oh, gotta do it.
Nope.
Okay.
And honestly, we actually checked on the back end, engagement and completion stats, and it's exactly like you're talking about. Like, people would accidentally, do these events, right? So what we're doing with this is we're kind of giving it basically a set, streamlined, basically no need for checking the website anymore. The schedule is going to stay as it is. And we've added Artifact, and I think we've also added Fleet Commander. And Fleet Commander has been like the number one ask I heard for months and months and months. Like, I get the SLB will be a little bit tricky, but Fleet Commander SMS is what people have been asking for forever. So I thought that was a great addition. I think the Artifact's a good one too. And then having it kind of, like I said, set in a schedule that you don't have to go to a website or check out anymore. I think it's just going to kind of really make things easier for players overall.
Here's the thing with that. The 11-day schedule, sure, you checked it on a website. 11 days was a lot to memorize, but it was routine. It was 6 years, okay? Now, let me say publicly and vocally, I'm not going to be the voice of contention on this. I purely and 1,000% supported an event overhaul here. Okay, we have talked about these events being garbage for years. So I am totally on board with what happened here as far as an event redesign. However, I am not beyond saying that I think that there could be a tweak or two. I think the general broad stroke of what you guys did here is probably good. For example, all right, I've heard a lot of people talking about this one today. Griffin, this is the ship upgrade solo milestone. Okay? A lot of people have been very, very fussy about this one today. I get it. To spend ship parts means that you're going to what? If you're going to spend ship parts, you also have to spend materials. All right? Today is not the day to spend materials.
Hold on there, DJ, because we were very clearly educated that the whole purpose of this redesign was to make it to where we're not just focused on one auction, one event once a week, and we're participating all week long.
But that hasn't kicked off yet. And what Griffin is referring to, community, is exactly the kind of strategery that I think we have to accept and even embrace. Hammy, this is something where I told you I would fully be willing to teach on this and explain. And for those of you who don't know, okay, the Arc Runner this month, we put it in our Arc Fall video. The Arc Runner this month is doing something different with the heroic solo milestones. Hammy, are you ready to tell the community what is going to kick off this coming Saturday?
Sure. We're going to be trying something different for the Epic Officer for the month. We're going to be running a heroic SMS that and I know people kind of get a little nervous about the heroic part, but we're going to run it for I think until the 26th or something like that. It's running for a few weeks. So we're trying something a little bit different. Instead of just having the weekend SMS and SLB, you'll have time to go after this, and you don't even have to complete the heroic SMS. Like, you can get like a full pull relatively easily. You can just place somewhere in the SLB. Doesn't have to be high up in the SLB, but between the two, you have a good shot of unlocking an epic this month.
Now, I want to explain fully what this means. Okay, there will still be solo leaderboards. There will still be the 48 or 72, whatever, a 48 hour, I think, solo leaderboards on the weekends. I do still fully expect people to spend in those and save some spend for the weekend. I probably will as well, depending on what the event load looks like. But I have said for years, before I was G6, before I was G5, I've had the same stance on solo leaderboards, that the solo leaderboards are, in this case, a spender's event. I know some people are going to disagree. People in very underpopulated brackets are going to disagree. I think this is a good thing. For many years, we have stated, as a matter of fact, Scopely hasn't taken this quite far enough, but I do remember people saying they would love a solo leaderboard that lasted the entire month. Karkin, you are quoted like 3 years ago saying, I would love the material spend SMS to exist for the entire month, so I'm never penalized for spending. That every material I spend is going to credit me and potentially pay me rewards. Why should I be punished because I want to spend on Monday instead of Saturday?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And that's what this will help combat. In fact, I can't think that it's anything but a good idea for that very reason. I can participate all month long, including participating in multiple weekend SLBs, but still be traversing through this SMS. Now that is a march to progress, because I can keep going without losing my spot until the very end of the thing, which is great.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I also want to enforce that it is also good for the new daily mini schedule. And we're going to talk about why that's good, because we've also got this monthly meta that is going to also pay us a full epic unlock. So there was design intent between all of these decisions. And I think that players are looking at a piece, right? And maybe saying, well, this doesn't look good, or this doesn't work for me, or this isn't a good idea. But we got to look at the entire design picture here, okay? I like most of what I've seen here. But if we take a look, all right, let's come back, because this is a little bit broader than where I wanted to start. Let's look at this event in particular. This event, for those of you in podcast, this is the limited time ship upgrade event SMS that is going on currently right now for an Ops 64 player, okay? That's me, Ops 64. My top milestone is 4,020,000 points, okay? 4,020,000 points. Now, I am a G6 player, all right? Which means, as is very common in this game, that I should be judging my metric off of materials that are relevant to my generation. Okay? So, based on event design, that's not to say that's how you have to do it. It's not to say that's how I'm going to do it. But based off the design, I need 4 million points. I'm going to take a look, and a G6 uncommon ship part is 500 points. That means I would need to spend 8,000 ship parts for my level.
Not hard.
Let me ask any
G6
player, how many components is 8,000 ship parts? It's like a third of one.
Not a lot.
It's one part, one component. Now, this could be G6. Let me see the top milestone. Somebody throw it out in chat. The top milestone for, say, Ops 45. Give me an Ops 45 top milestone. Anybody throw it out in chat? I'll read it up, or throw your top milestone with what your ops is. I want a low one, preferably 45, maybe 48. Okay, that's what I want to see. And Caledon, hang on to that thought. Hang on to that thought, okay? I'm going to come back to your comment. This is super important, and I know players don't know this, so stick around for 3 more minutes, okay? Ops 46, thank you, Soonergrad. Ops 46 requires 737,000 points. On Ops 46's G4, if you spend G4 uncommon ship parts, you got to spend 14,740. 14,740 uncommon ship parts. Now, that's going to sound crazy because it's higher than G6, but let's remember the economies. Let's also remember what G4 preyed on, which was ship parts, okay? Like, there are G6 players today that will tell you, oh, God, I remember the G4 days. Ship parts were the bane of the existence. It's not 14 components retrieving. It's 2 to 3. You got to remember that the ships were built with the presumed gate by game design of being ship parts. G4 was never about materials. It was parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So 14,740 might sound like a lot, but that economy is different. If you are a G4 player, you're going to look at that and be like, okay, that's 2 components. Now, by the way, should you be doing 2 components on a Thursday when there's no material spend event? No!
Well, but now we're just in a pain point week because this event is brand new and it hasn't started for the first time.
Now, Rizelius says the problem is if we don't do it today, we don't get credit towards the meta. You are correct, Rizelius. I am going to teach you. I am going to give you solace tonight. Welcome to Talking Trek University, where I am going to take the pressure off of you guys here tonight. Hammy, Scopely has got to do better at communicating these things.
Can I be a special professor at teaching Trek University?
Yes, Hammy, I want you to tell the class what we're going to teach them today. If you had a leading headline, a bullet point for the monthly meta, it is what?
Oh, I thought I'd be teaching like quesadillas.
Okay. Let me ask you, Hammy, we talked about this. Do players need 100% participation in the monthly meta?
No.
No. Sure don't. As a matter of fact, do players need, 90% participation in the monthly meta?
Nope.
80. 75.
Nope. Getting in the ballpark.
70%. 70%
right.
at base with bonus opportunities. And I'm going to explain all that to you tonight. So if I don't have to do this one today, cool. I'm going to skip it. Okay? I'm going to skip it. Retrieving, you don't count. You are not a G4 player. Stop it. Okay? We're talking G4 relevant economy. You don't get to judge that. You have to look at your economy. Because you've also got researches, you got primes, you got all this other stuff, you've got the efficiencies. G4 is different to a G5 or a G6 player. And again, let me remind you that this event was never designed for you to use previous generational materials. It hasn't been that way for probably a year and a half. Now, you can do it that way. If you want to do 14 components on a pylum as a G6 player, do that. You can. It still scores. But that's not the norm. Okay? Hypodermic says, does 70% count the SLB? No! SLBs are completely out. You don't even have to look at them. We're going to give you the math tonight. Okay? No retrieving. That's not what a G4 player has access to. Your economy for G4 is different than a G4 who's coming up. It costs them more. They don't have the same efficiencies you do. They will pay more in parts for that same component than you will. All right, when we'll come back to that. All right, but I mean, that's just the math. Now, that's why this event doesn't infuriate me. For me, for my current generation, it's fine. It's just ill-timed. I'm not going to do it today. Okay? The solo leaderboards, I'm not a fan. Okay? But I'm never
I love mine.
But I'm never a fan of solo leaderboards. I never like solo leaderboards. The brackets are usually crappy for me. I'm always at the tail end of the whale pool. I never do good in solo leaderboards. I've accepted that. They're not for me. Okay? They might be for you, but they're not for me. We also looked at the events yesterday. Okay? And by the way, I might point out that for those of you who are advanced in your generation and you want to use previous materials, Peregrine says, yo, Op 65, I did my pylum to score. Yeah, that's right. Why would you do that? This event could be a scrapper's delight. How many of you guys working on jellyfishes out there, huh? How many of you guys working on enterprises that use G3 and all this stuff? Listen, this is when you support your scrapyard so you can do your ABSs. Always be scrapping. It's actually the ABC. It's supposed to be always be scrapping if scrapping started with a C. Anyway, that's it, right? Isn't that what you guys say? Who has the noisy keyboard?
Wait,
that's Hammy.
you're a tenured professor at the university?
Oh, there is no accreditation for this university.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
everything's fine. Okay, everything's fine. Let's look at one that we saw, I don't know, yesterday. Let me look in the daily folder and let's look at something we saw yesterday. Somebody give me one you saw yesterday. Here we go. Fleet Commander upgrade. Oh, I like this one. Fleet Commander upgrade. Okay, first of all, also very cool. Rewards. I'm not fuzzy on these rewards. I actually talked to the designer of this event. I'm going to give you an opinion on this here in a second, but these are not warm and fuzzy to me. However, this event is actually more valuable to me, not because of the rewards. That's right, Pixelate. I did it for the meta. Me too. And what was required? 280 uncommon skill points provided by the Titan. 280 uncommon skill points provided by the Titan. Well, if I take a look inside my Titan refinery, just to see how many that would actually be, I, by the way, do double pulls. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I do double pulls. I rarely do triples. I usually do doubles in my Fleet Commander refinery for my Titan. That is 2 days of refines.
Awful.
I get 300 uncommon skill points every 2 days. But that event took 280. Cool. That's easy. Bender says, I always do double pulls. No, Durr, that's just it. Love it. We're going to teach. He says, if you can spend them, you don't have to. All you have to do is refine them. This event is not about spending uncommon skill points on fleet commanders. The way to score on this event is to come into the command center and refine an uncommon skill point for Janeway, Seven, Locutus, Kirk, or Spock. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit this 10 button 3 times. Boom, done. That's my daily mini. That's it. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. You can spend the uncommon skill points for Kirk, Spock, Locutus, Seven, or Janeway. You can also directly spend rare skill points, which I don't know why you would do that. You also can directly spend Lorca and or Sloan skill points. Those will also score, but you will eventually cap out on those, right? You can only spend so much for Lorca. You can only spend so much for Sloan. You can only spend so many rare skill points. This is how the event can be permanently obtained. This event survives in perpetuity because anybody who owns a Titan will be able to complete this event every 2 days for free. Okay? Now, the rewards. Different conversation. I'm going to circle back to that in a moment. But this was another example of one of the events that people need an understanding on as far as how to do them. Okay? And by the way, I'm going to give you some terminology tonight. This one is, these events, I'm going to refer to, Hammy, as the daily minis. Right? I'm going to come back to you. Sorry, Hammy. Daily minis, right? These are the dailies. There's a 4-day rotation. Hammy, do you happen to have that in front of you? I don't. Tarpy, where's that calendar?
Yes, I do, actually.
Oh, good.
It's right there on the blog.
Thank
Blog
you. It's on the blog. And Tarpy made this cool, colorful schedule. There's a 4-day rotation. Okay?
Yep.
Day 1 is Fleet Commanders. Or for event 1 on day 1 is Fleet Commanders. That will start typically at noon Eastern and end at midnight Eastern. Then at midnight Eastern, which we're going to refer to as daily reset, which, by the way, is not really daily reset because, you know, clock management is something Scopely does about as well as the Bears do.
Hey, don't talk about clocks in front of Hammy and me. It's a sore subject, okay?
You know what? If we could just make a sideline to that Bears comment. I'm not a Bears fan, but I was kind of rooting for. I like Detroit. I like Detroit a lot, but that was just a sad way to end the game.
It was, wasn't it?
What the heck was that?
This was just a rough day. Yeah, it's just not a good day. Yeah, not a good day. He did get fired. All right.
Yeah, he did.
He got fired
he deserved it.
The next day, dude. He got fired. So, Hammy, what are we saying about the in-game clocks? The Bears fired their people for messing up the clock one time. Just saying.
Whoa. Shots fired.
All right. So we take a look here. Event reset to daily reset. The first one on day one is the Fleet Commander upgrade, that Fleet Commander event that we got yesterday. Yesterday was day one. Then you had building resources and materials that started last night at midnight. Okay. Jonathan Ingram says he's still waiting on the field, so he hasn't actually found out he's been fired yet.
I see.
All right. And then you've got this category over here, the solo leaderboards. Now, for the purposes of right now, okay, ignore the solo leaderboard. We're going to do some teaching here, Hammy. Okay, you ready? You ready to get our nerd on? Let's get some math on, folks. Okay, the solo leaderboard events, ignore them for right now. You've got these, which are daily events, okay? 2 12-hour daily events. You also have 1 24-hour daily event. They are all Pinnacle events. Okay? And we're going to talk about the Pinnacle events. I kind of like where Pinnacle went. Okay? So we've got 2 12-hour events and 1 24-hour event. Those are our daily minis. That's what I've always called them, is just daily minis. Okay? So the building and resources material one, let's take a look at that one. We've still got this one in here. Okay? Let's take a look at what this one is. Again, spending materials, so probably not the right time to do it. As a matter of fact, you'll take a look. I didn't. But what would it have required? 1.53 million points, and again, I'm up 64. The materials, if I'm spending G6 uncommon, 2,500 materials. Well, that's one building. I mean, that's literally one building for me. And for the record, it was building or research. So you can't, this was super obtainable. Now, again, I'm not going to probably do this one. As a matter of fact, I did not. Why? Because I'm not getting paid in other ways. I wanted to save this one. I wanted to save those materials. Jondrel says not sustainable. I beg to differ. There's always something to spend materials on. You say that like auctions aren't sustainable, yet here we are 6 years later. Okay? Y'all are spending materials every single month. You're spending it on something. Okay? Now, you say that the rewards suck. This one has Sigma in it. This one is about what a daily mini was before. Okay? I'm not that fussy about it. Horn says, I get 2 24 and 1 12-hour. Incorrect, sir. You get 2 12 hours and 1 24. Get that backwards. Okay? But the 12-hour ones cycle. 12 hours, first 12 hours in a day, you get one. Second 12 hours, you get the second one. Okay? Now, you might be referring to a weekly event, which we're going to talk about in just a second, Hammy. These are your daily events that we were just talking about, okay? For the purposes of your monthly meta, every single one of these events will pay you 100 points. Okay? 100. So, your Pinnacle event pays you 100. Your Fleet Commander event paid you 100. Your building event paid you 100 if you did it. If you were perfect after day one, you would have gotten 300 points just from your daily minis.
Yep.
Okay? Where else do we get points? Now, so let's do the math on this real quick. If we're going to do those all 7 days, there's 26 days in our meta, but let's just say that we're going to do all of them. What is our point potential? What is our point potential? Retrieving, if you don't stop giving me previous generational materials, are you actually Ops 58? Because if you are, then fine. But if you're not Ops 58, because I thought you were G6. You shush. Okay. You are Ops 58. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, fair. If you're Ops 58, though, couldn't you be doing it with a little bit of rare in there? Your buildings cost rare. Just throwing that out there. Okay? You say that it would be G5 uncommon, 9,000, but your buildings cost rare at Ops 58. Okay? Now, anyway, I digress. Point possibility, 300 points a day. Over the course of 7 days, that's 2,100 points. Got it?
Over the course of 21 days, that would be what? 21 days would be, somebody help me?
63?
6,300 points. Okay, write that down, somebody. 6,300 points. Where else do you get points? Where else do you get points? Well, let's come back to the calendar. Okay? The weekly events. Now, there's Scopely did put this in a blog. It is in the calendar. It's in the in-game news, but there's still confusion about it. The weekly events are defined as these new buckets right here. These events are going to pay 300 points. On Monday, there's going to be one. It is Latinum Rush. It's going to pay you 300 points. Who doesn't do that milestone? Who doesn't do that milestone?
I think I do it while I'm asleep.
I sure as shooting do.
I bet you do. I don't like doing it, but I still do it. Maxenheimer says I don't. Well, now you actually have a reason to, okay? Now you actually have a reason to. I don't like it either, by the way, and I don't usually, okay? But now I have a reason to because it's worth 300 points, okay? On Tuesday, Q's Trials. Well, this is kind of why I was talking a little bit about bells, guys. This is going to be a big one. This is going to be 300 points every Tuesday. Okay? Wednesday, we saw it. Zindi Hostels, which, by the way, was a little challenging for me. When I was looking at Zindi Hostels, I did the math on it. At my equal ops, which I know a lot of people might not be able to do with Zindi, at my equal ops, it was 40 hostels of the reptilian. It was 20 of the aquatic. Not everybody can do that. They might have had to hit a few more. That one was a little more hostile hitting. Okay. Retrieving says Ops 58 hitting Ops 54s. It was 145 hostiles. I can get behind that. I don't know. I mean, how's your NX01 looking? You probably shouldn't be hitting down 4 levels. But that one, Zindeep could use a little adjustment. All right. Zindi hostels are a little challenging, and it's probably not super realistic to expect you could hit your own ops level. I could get behind that. Again, the event is 300 points.
And that's the whole point of these events in a microcosm. They're now incentivizing us to catch up with our daily grinds, maybe once a week or twice a week, and bank up on all these things that you need as a result of hitting that particular hostel, like I'm doing right now with the board cube, getting ahead today.
I might be remembering this wrong. Putz is telling me for Ops 52, it was 20 aquatics, 40 reptiles. Zindi was not level dependent, so you could have done it at the low Zindi levels. Okay, then I was thinking, I might have been thinking of the Elarian event, okay? So this one was easy. Go hit the tiny baby ones, 20 hostels or 40 hostels. Hit 20 hostels, you're done. Okay, that takes 5, 6, 7 minutes.
System and hit those aquatics and get caught up on your little specialty tokens you need to now cash in.
Thank you,
make
Shawty.
more with that nice little prime.
Says the Zindi SMS was not level dependent. Okay, then that complaint has been removed. Okay, 300 points to the meta. The Zindi Armada one. This is one that we could talk about for just a second because, by the way, this one I felt differently about. I know a lot of people were very fussy. This one I felt was... This one I could be convinced needs an adjustment, but here's what I did, okay? First of all, it's clearly not built around uncommons. I think that is obvious. This event...
You need the rares.
This event was not built around uncommons. This is a hoarder's worst nightmare, okay? Because they're going to make you start spending your rares and epics, okay? You could not do this event with uncommons, okay? Uncommons would have required you to run 130 uncommons. This event was clearly not built for uncommons. Either that or it was an error, okay? I'm going to report it. We're going to find out. Hammy, you could ask about this for us. You could ask us about this if the uncommon armadas were supposed to only be 1 point. Listen, if they were 10 points, it would actually make a little bit more sense. If they were 10 points per uncommon directive, it would require 13 uncommons. That would be more reasonable to me, to be perfectly honest with you. All right, so I might suggest that, okay? We could also look at the Zindi directives, which I also think that there might be an error in here. If we look at the Zindi directives, we need 13,000 points. How much does it cost to start a rare? I mean, no?
I believe it's 1,000, isn't
It's
it?
actually 5,000. It costs five. This is why I think that there's a math error in here. I have to spend 5,000 directives times 13 points, which means I did that wrong. 5,000 times 13, which means by starting one rare, I would actually get 65,000 points, but the milestone's only 13. On the other hand, it is a Zindi event, and if I did the uncommons, which cost 1,000 directives times 1 point, I would have to run 13 uncommons, and class, how many Zindi uncommon directives am I even allowed to hold? As a matter of fact, how many can I earn each week?
Not so many.
I can earn 1 in a week. I can hold as many as 5. So it requiring 13 is an error. Okay, Hammy?
Yep.
Okay, that one is a mistake. I think the point.
I can't say 100% that it's a mistake, but I can say that we have raised, actually, myself and the CM team have raised this exact feedback in a meeting that we had this week. What are you doing? What are you whispering?
It's a mistake.
I disagree that it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. That is an alternate method of scoring if you really wanted to, but the solution of that event is to go hit 2 rare FKRs and then 1 uncommon Zindi, and I believe you're done.
Okay, you're talking about 2. That's fine. By the way, I did it with 1 epic and 2 rares. Okay, so I get it.
Sure.
There's alternate scoring here, but it is a Zindi event. Doesn't it make sense that the Zindi should carry the event? That the normal armadas should be the backup?
They are in the event, and in fact, this event got me, for the first time ever in my STFC career ever, it got me to run a Zindi Final Weapon Armada. I had never done that before.
Okay. That being said, 3 rares, and if you don't do Zindi, 3 rares and 1 uncommon Zindi was a way to do it. 1 epic and 2 rare FKRs could have done it. There are a whole host of combinations. Okay?
Yep.
I do not agree with this event being too difficult. I think the scoring is messed up and the priority should change a little bit, but it was still very, very completable. 300 points.
Super completable.
300 points. Okay? 300 points. What was next on the chart? That, by the way, was Weapon Wednesday. Here on Thursday, a very traditional technological distinctiveness cube grind. We've seen this event a million times. It takes not very long at all. And those of you who've been working on your cube, which is most people because the cube is amazing, should have not a whole lot of problem. 300 points. We haven't seen Voyager Friday, but that's going to be a Herogen event. We get those in the Battle Pass. Okay. Cosmic Cleanup. I mean, people accidentally do Cosmic Cleanup, so I don't think we're going to see much problem there. On Sunday, now this is where we got some choice, folks. That's where we got some choice. On Sunday, we're going to see a Mirror Universe Hostile event. And we're going to see Swarm Sunday. Okay? Now, if I'm looking at, and by the way, Hammy, correct me if I'm wrong. The calendar does say that we'll see Swarm Sunday and a Mirror Universe Hostile. Retrieving says that Mirror Universes are 45 plus, but I think 45. Okay, I am being now told by Live Ops it is one or the other. So this changes my math. Thanks a lot, dude.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it is 8. It is 8. 8. Okay, so it doesn't change my math. So you're going to see swarms under 45. So it doesn't mess with the ups. It is one or the other. Sorry, it is one or the other. Confirmed, one or the other. It's still 8. Retrieving says Sunday is not a choice. That's correct, but it's still 8 events. Now, do the math for me. We already did the math. If I do all the events, all the weekly events, what is my point potential in 7 days? And hang on, Laser. I'm going to come back to your point. You say that the rewards are off. I don't necessarily disagree with the individual rewards, but that's not all we're chasing here. Now, it might still not be worth it to you, but we're going to come around to that. Why? We just talked about why did I do Fleet Commanders yesterday? It wasn't because I need to do Fleet Commander stuff. I did it for the meta, right, Pixelate? Okay, so if I can do all of these events, and that's a big if, what is the point potential in 1 week? 300 times 8 is 2,400 points, correct? Over the course of 21 days. What is 24 times 3? That's 7,200 points. So now I am at what? In 21 days. 21 days, by the way. The event is 26. But in 21 days, my point potential is now 13,500 points. In 21 days.
Well, happy day. That does it.
It does. And I've got basically an entire week to spare. Okay? The actual math on the requirement of the daily minis combined with the weekly events is 68% completion. And I am going to argue that these weekly events being worth 300 points, these 300-point events are wildly more valuable than the daily minis. If you do all of these, let's count this up. Let's just assume we're saying that you could get 8 in a week. So if we're talking 21 days, Hammy, help me make some assumptions. In 7 days, I can do 2,400 points. But this event was 26 days. So that means I got 5 days to account for at the end. How many events? We should say that last week is only going to get me 5 events. Is that fair? Because we can't assume that we're going to get one of the days that has 2 events. Is that fair? So 21 days gets us the 6,400 loot or the 7,200 loot or the 7,200 points that we were just talking about. And let's just assume 1,500 more points out of that last 5 days. Okay? That is 7,200 plus 15 is 8,700 points. Now, out of the 26 event days, we've got 8,700? 8,700 points. Okay? I need 11,800, right? Is that what I need? 11,800 points for the monthly meta. I can get 8,700 just by doing my weekly events, like the routine events that everybody can do. So I need 3,100 points from daily minis. Now, I'm going to come in here and say that the pinnacle events are gimmies. Pinnacle events are gimmies. Everybody can do them. Like, those are not difficult. Those should be on everybody's to-do list. So now we're going to take 100 points times 26. That is 2,600 points remaining out of the 3,100 I need. Community, I only have to do 5 daily mini events all month long. It could be Artifact. It could be Fleet Commander. It could be building materials and resources during an auction event. I'm here to point out that you don't need to feel the pressure on this. And Scopely should have come out and said this. Now, in fairness, Hammy, you did kinda. It's in the blog. It's in the in-game news. Yeah. It's in the event. We can do the math. But for some reason, this is still escaping players. So I wanted to teach on it tonight. I don't mean to take up your time. This is why I said Hammy's going to be here till midnight. Because we haven't talked really, I haven't asked him questions, but I felt this was really important, Hammy. People needed to understand how this meta worked.
Yep. And one other point is that you don't need any of the SLBs. Those are just bonus.
That's exactly right. The SLBs just offer bonus points. So you don't have to do any solo leaderboard. Now, if I was going to say that I only have to do 5 of these daily minis outside of the weekly events, outside of Pinnacle, and by the way, I might add, if you find that the FKR event is too difficult for you, take that one out and you substitute it with 3 daily minis. This is not a mechanic of I have to do it all. And that is so important. You also, as Dave mentioned in chat, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who, I think it was Laser Danger said it, you're also not taking into account the rewards. And you know what? I can get behind that. I even mentioned, not across the board, it's not. I even kind of mentioned a moment ago that I wasn't really that excited about What was the one that I told you I did that had faction credits in it? I would tweak those rewards around a little bit. Okay, I would tweak those rewards around a little bit. I wasn't a fan of that one. All right, but I did it for the meta.
You didn't like seeing the faction credits in there?
Me personally, no. Okay, but there's a thing here, and I'm going to point this out here in just a moment. The rewards are going to vary for different people. I think the event designer did a broadly good job on the event rewards. Broadly, I think there's a few adjustments, a few tweaks. I think that younger players probably still like faction credits. Okay, me, I don't. On the other hand, I think younger players still like things like Latinum and Officer XP and recruit tokens. Those have been removed.
It's a scaling issue again, Hammy. Like, for example, those faction credits and what I get for completion of that is essentially equivalent to what I get by just going into the faction store and clicking one button to redeem my daily spy messages.
This is challenging for this particular event designer because he's trying to build events for 3 generations of player. Actually, 4. You realize these event series start at up 20.
But aren't they bracketed? Aren't there multiple brackets on the rewards?
Only the solo leaderboards, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, so these daily minis are not bracketed to where there are different rewards allotted based on generation you're in?
Some of the generations do, which is what I wanted to point out. This is one that I think, and I actually sent him a message about this. Let me see if I can find it. Where was the Pinnacle event? Guys, the Pinnacle event, for those of you who have played Pinnacle of Power for a long time, you G5 and G6 players, the Pinnacle event just got stupidly upgraded. Okay? Yeah. Stupidly upgraded.
Hazard particles.
Cosmic particles, by the way. Yeah, by the way, you earn 1,000 hazard particles in your daily. This daily event has 4,000. Okay? The Pinnacle rewards are slap your grandma good. Look at here, by the way. Raw intelligence is still there. So you G5 and G6, yep, you still get your raw intelligence, but it also comes with refined intelligence. Now, granted, I'm looking at G6 rewards, okay? I'm looking at G6 rewards. It's obviously intelligence isn't going to come to G4. I didn't mean to say that they're not bracketed by generation, but I don't think they're individually bracketed by ops. I could be wrong. All right. Yeah, like intelligence isn't going to a G3 player, isn't going to a G2 player. All right. Wham says, who needs intelligence?
I still do.
I still do. And I still do ATAs that give me Alliance Exos that cost intelligence. Okay. So I am cool with intelligence. Some people haven't finished their research. On-call Doc came out, didn't he, Hammy, and said, listen, players are going to be pretty upset if you take away the intelligence. For the record, and let me just point this out real quick, shout out to On-call Doc. All right?
Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. What's up, Doc?
Hey, Doc.
Doc got you guys your intelligence back, for those of you who wanted it. All right? Because it wasn't there. Okay? It wasn't there. Doc came back and said, listen, there are G6 players who might not actually be done with their hazard research. I mean, their intelligence research. Sorry. I would be one. Okay?
Me too.
I would be one. I appreciate the Pinnacle rewards. This is a stupidly good event. Now, are they all that way? No. Laser Danger, I get it. Not all of them are that way. But now let's look at the larger picture. Okay? All of these things are scoring points in a meta. The meta is entitled Ahead of the Curve. And we just demonstrated how many points you needed to do outside of the normal stuff. Outside of normal stuff.
Plus, this is just a quick note. This month is actually a little short since we started on a Wednesday most months. So it'll be 26 days this month, but you'll get 28 for most months after that. So you have even a couple more days.
So it will be a full 28 day. Okay, cool. Cool.
Great.
I believe that my son is experiencing an emergency. So, Griffin, will you host for a second? I'm just going to mute, okay?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Take care of your...
Hope everything's okay.
So, boy, kind of in the middle of it, but the Pinnacle of Power alone, those are the gimme events that you get that you're going to get a ton of those rewards for it, and it is a catch-up mechanic for many people. The hazard rewards are extremely valuable to complete that research, Hammy.
Yep.
When I looked at this cycle, I understand why DJs is doing a lot of teaching here, which we can clean up and post on a short form video. But I mean, digging into it and having the benefit of absorbing it for a little bit longer than everybody else, I see mainly nothing but positive in this change and what it does in helping all generations catch up and reward. You know, in fact, it's sort of a parallel to what happened with the Alliance tournament events. It's really rewarding participation and getting you to engage and get you a little something extra for the events that you are already doing.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that a lot of these adjustments and these new events, like say Zindi or either like the stuff in Mirror Universe, like that stuff I'm doing already, you know, on a weekly basis. And now just aligning it with these daily and weekly events, I think that's awesome. Because now players know when during the week when they should be doing this and when they can score, and I think it's a really big improvement. And I think to DJ's other point is that we should actually have probably better comms to really explain this to players, just how good a change this is overall. I think the way that things launched yesterday, it was just like we threw a lot at players all at once. And we need to kind of slow down a bit and take a beat and actually kind of explain why some of these changes were made.
Yeah, and how they ultimately will benefit the player in the long term. And that's why I said that it's kind of you can't judge it by what's happening this second, because we are starting late. And to that point, there are things that we're being asked to do now that month-long SMS is not around for yet, but will be around starting next week. And then it's going to make a lot more sense to be participating in these events, because you know, you're going to be double paid to do it.
It's in the game, and it is in the game, and it's called ahead of the curve. This is what we were talking about with these points. All right, you do all these points, even if some of the rewards might not be worth it. Because I ask then, when we go back in time, and I'm sorry, Noah just got pulled over by a state trooper, so that was. Oh, yeah, buddy, there's going to be hell
Don't
to pay.
speed.
I mean, I've told him a gazillion times. I've told him and told him, oh, my God, I'm going to end his life. Oh, I tell him all the time, I brought you into this world. I can take you right out, son.
How fast was he going?
Huh?
How fast was he going?
He didn't tell me in front of, because he was with the trooper, because he doesn't have his wallet either.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no.
I bet he does have his sunglasses, though.
And he was letting his friend drive my car who doesn't have a license.
Oh, no.
Why? Because he was trying to catch Pokemon.
Oh, you've got to go. You've got to go bring your car home, because they're not going to let him drive that car away. They're not going to let him drive that car away.
Well, I'm not going to be able to get to it. It's in Clark's place. I just about doxed myself. I am so gosh darn upset right now. It is in a different city than I am in. I know, Wolfwood. Oh, my good God. I just about doxed myself. It is in a city far away from me.
Well, obviously, you have not invested enough in upgrading your Tolly, because if you put him on your bridge, you could probably get to that location significantly faster.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I come back. I come back and I say, listen, this event, the completion, the 11,800 points gets you 6,000 Admirals Recruits tickets. Okay? This is what I keep wanting to say, Laser Danger. This is what I wanted to mention to you. Yes, I agree that some of the daily minis look a little bit light. I do not disagree with you. Okay? I am not excited about faction credits. Me, myself, and I. As an Ops 20 would be. Okay? An Ops 20 would be. But not me. Okay? Then you come into the Admiral's Recruit chest right here in your Officer Recruit section, community. where you have 6 epics. Now, granted, 2 of them are kind of awful. I would say...
Who's awful? Who's awful?
Pick Riker and pick Worf.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
They're not optimal.
And by the way, Trip Tucker is valuable. Phlox is very valuable. No, Dastros, you are silly. 5 of them are not bad. Who out of 5 of them, who is the one? If you're saying 5 are bad, which one's the good one? Matters also only says 2 are good. I disagree. I think Tucker, Archer, Phlox, and Pick Picard are worth having. Now, anyway. You're going to come in here, you're going to spend the 6,000 recruit tickets, and you're going to get a chance at one of these 6 officers. In all fairness, odds are good. Okay, odds are good. It's 1 out of 6 you're going to get one that you like or one that you want. Okay, Nate Carr says only 2 I care about are Phlox and Tucker. Okay, well, then you got a 33% chance of getting what you want.
See, this is the one part, as optimistic as Griffin is and how I love everything, and I'm accused of being optimistically positive, which I am. It really, really upsets me that we did not make the decision, the royal we. Why is that a chance? Why can't I just pick?
That should be choice. I agree.
That should be a choice, because if I end up getting the freaking Picard Worf after participating in that whole thing and I'm not chasing Picard Worf, then I will then feel like, man, I just wasted a whole month worth of the blah-de-de-blah for what?
Crap officer.
So, please take that note that should be a choice, and that should be a simple decision.
It should be a simple thing. That diminishes some of the good feeling. Okay, Hammy, I don't mean to say that it shouldn't be a good feeling. It really should be. This is a phenomenal mechanic. Chat, we have asked since the introduction of 4 of 11, and then followed up by 10D. We have asked for month-long metas for officer acquisition. Now, this looks a little different. It's not a currently new officer, but it's still a full unlock of an epic. I love it. Give me a little bit of choice. Okay, give me a little bit of choice. And I am all
in. The argument I would make is that we're doing that for transporter patterns anyway, so it's really not a big deal.
Not everybody's doing it for transporter patterns. Okay, these are newer officers. I don't have any of them maxed. That being said, though, I do want to point out that choice saves this mechanic. Laser Danger said in chat just a few moments ago, Hammy, that the rewards for some of the individual tasks were useless. Cruzito said the minis. Oh no, he's making the point. Many people are saying that the rewards are absurdly low for what they're asking in some of the daily minis. Okay? I don't 1,000% agree, but I don't disagree that the rewards do feel light in some areas. However, my argument is that the reward is not just what comes in that event, but what comes at the end of the 28 days.
Exactly.
What comes when I get
look at the big picture.
What comes with the unlock of the epic. And I might say that even Laser Danger, who says, would probably say, okay, I'm willing to spend a couple of Armada directives. Even if that event reward is garbage, I'm probably willing to do that if I get to choose my epic.
Exactly.
You know? Now, the only other thing that I am going to comment, and Hammy, I mentioned this to you earlier in chat, in our effort to be very representative of all generations of player on this show, I am going to point out that while players like myself and players like Griffin probably don't need Ultra Recruits, or probably don't need Latinum, or probably don't need Officer XP. Actually, we always need Officer XP. But
Latinum, I burn Latinum in the fireplace for no good reason.
No reason at all.
Anywho, I might also make the argument that Latinum and Ultra Recruits are wildly important to younger generational players. I believe that it could have been a slight misstep, one that's easily corrected, by the way, to potentially return some of these older rewards back to it. Because again, my point, Cruzito is going to say those, he's another example. Those event rewards were useless to me, but they're not useless to everybody. You know what isn't useless to everybody? A full epic officer. So the daily mini event rewards mean less to me if I've got a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm willing to put up with faction credits, as I mentioned, to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm willing to put up with Latinum, Officer XP, Ultra Recruits, even though that just transport patterns for me. But players do need that. I will point out that as wildly sourced as Ultra Recruits have been over the last several years, you take them out of the daily minis, and, I mean, that was the chief sourcing for those. I'd say 70 to 80% of the Ultra Recruits in the game came from daily minis. You take that out, you are going to kill lower player Ultra Recruit or Epic Officer acquisition. It's going to be really bad.
I would agree with the Ultra Recruit, but I don't know if I would agree with the Latinum. Like, I don't know if there's a lot of different ways to source Latinum, and I don't think the dailies were the chief way that a lot of lower ops players. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that that's cheap. Like I said, Ultra Recruit, I can take a look into. I don't know if there's if we're going to be making any changes. We're going to see how the month goes.
That's fair.
Right now, but you're not the first person to mention Ultra Recruit. So
yeah.
This is something that we can have a conversation about.
And this is why I say I want to, and I told Hammy I was going to do this. You guys call me a shill, whatever. I told him I was going to come out. I was going to fully praise what we're going to call the what are we calling it? The event revamp or the event refactor. I love it. Okay,
I love it.
I love it. I think that there are a couple tiny tweaks that I would make if I was writing it, but I didn't. And I give this event designer a 97%, okay? Because there's a whole grand design, all right? It's not just that individual event, Cruzito, Laser Danger. It's not just that individual event, but there's also light at the end of the tunnel. Could it be better for every single event, Laser Danger? 1,000%. I don't take that away. It could be better. Listen, like I said, I did the one for 200 faction credits. That's silly, right? That's silly.
But that's a commentary on the bracketing of the rewards and how that could be improved, not of the event structure itself.
Yeah, exactly. And even the event structure itself, I'm going to come back and say these officers might not have been our picks for this, okay? But that also is likely to change over time. We've seen the Galactic recruits change, all right? Mm-hmm. We've seen Ultra officers get added into Ultras. We've seen Transporter pattern store change. I have no doubt that these officers will probably change eventually. I don't know if they're going to change right away. I wish they would have put a couple of better in there. And at the very least, it'll take, listen, even if you just wanted Phlox, even if Phlox and maybe Trip Tucker are the two, those would be the ones that I would want the most, okay? If I were looking at this, and even if I had choice, I'd probably spend the next 3 or 4 months just working on Phlox. I'll take those 400 shards. Like, you give me the choice, and this store can still last. But
it absolutely can.
It can. But I do think that choice has to be a part of it there. Then maybe throwing a couple of different officers in there would be a little bit more helpful. But again, we're talking decisions. We're not talking mechanics. This event series is great, and it's
solid.
I'll stand behind it, okay? I'll stand behind it. Now, I did see this question in the chat, and Hammy, you can answer this if you want. Is there a way to carry those tokens forward each month?
That's what I'm following up with right now.
Oh, okay. The answer is no.
The tickets?
No.
Yeah.
I thought you already know. The answer is no.
The recruit tokens, what are they?
The Admiral's recruit tickets.
Admiral recruit. Yeah.
There is a cap of 6,000. So what you earn in the monthly meta is 6,000. You will earn 6,000 if you complete the meta. It costs 6,000 to do the pull. You can only hold 6,000. Now, what players may find some solace in is perhaps the fact, Hammy, that just in case I did take some time off, just in case I didn't quite get it all done, all right, I could earn tickets, and these tickets, I am here to confirm, will carry forward.
There you go.
So if I only earn 3,000 of these event tickets this month, it will not be a wasted currency. I will be able to use them next month. Just be careful, folks. You cannot hold more than 6,000. So if you have 6,000 and you complete a milestone, they are lost to the void. You have a cap. If you are holding 6,000 and you decide you don't want to do it on the officers this month and you want to wait till next month, which there's no reason to do that because they're not going to change. But if you did, all right, and then you complete a milestone next month without spending your 6,000, you just lost 500 tickets. Okay?
That is the clarity, Spectre. What DJ said is exactly right.
What I just spoke is the truth. The tickets will carry forward. You have a cap of 6,000. Okay? Good? Wham,
Good.
bam. Okay, there you go. What is the cooldown on the recruit bundle? Is it 27 days?
We don't know yet. Nobody's claimed it.
That's true. Nobody's claimed it other than what somebody has shared. But again, I'm speaking to the event designer about this, okay, who, by the way, had many conversations about this, which I appreciate. Thank you, sir. And is lurking right
that's
now.
One that doesn't even need a cooldown because you can't get more than one pull at a time anyway, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. And he's lurking, so that's right. So if you miss some events, Jonathan Ingram, you can still cash in on the next month. Okay? That's why I'm saying this is not a bad thing. Now, Rico says, hey, good question. Rico says, what about Cerritos Wednesday, Apex Thursday? What about the Eviscerator event? Do those count as weekly events? Sadly, no. Okay? Only the events on this chart. Only the events on this chart.
There's a caveat to that, though. I bet you there's a caveat to that.
Which is?
The word yet.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I bet you there will be retooling of the rest of the events that were not yet touched. And we'll see those folded into the equation because why wouldn't you? There's just no reason for them not to be other than, getting things out in time.
Not enough time.
Maybe, possibly. Look at that. Obsidian Hamster says, I can confirm they carry over. We knew that. I spoketh the trutheth.
Oh, he's
Spectre,
on tape.
You did?
Spectre, why do you doubt me? I mean, seriously, if the words come out of my mouth. Okay, in fairness, Scopely has misled me before. But
But I haven't.
Well, you did say Alliance Tournaments was canceled.
Absolutely not.
What?
I said they weren't canceled. This is an outrage. Again, because you've said this before.
I know. All right. Listen.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers. All right, listen. There's a comment in chat. I have to answer this very quickly because Caledon asked. He said, listen, literally an hour ago, DJs, you said in 3 minutes we're going to talk about the solo milestone for this weekend and why it should matter. I'm going to come back to Alliance Tournaments because we got some rapid-fire stuff to get from Hammy coming up here in just a moment, and he's got Hammy's happy hour. He's got Hammy's happy time that's coming up here in just a moment. So
I worked very hard on a graphic for you today, and you didn't even show it. Speaking about being an hour late.
But we haven't.
What are you talking about?
We haven't reached the happy hour yet.
We haven't done
Look in your DMs.
We haven't done Hammy's happy hour yet.
Look in your DMs. Terrible. I had that ready in like 18 seconds.
This is incredible. Listen, we've got a meme here, everybody. There's Hammy, all right, and he's clearly working in a pawn shop. And the best I can do is maybe there might be a problem with March to Oblivion progress. Sorry.
That's pretty good.
That's actually pretty fantastic. Thank you for that. That's great stuff. All right, Caledon. Here's the caveat. All right, and I did put this in the Arkfall video, but I'm going to teach it to you again. This weekend, starting on Saturday, there is the heroic solo milestone, which will contain 50 shards. This solo milestone will not expire at the end of the weekend, but will carry on till the end of the month, allowing you to carry forward your progress if, in fact, you don't complete that solo milestone during weekend number 1. That is what we explained to you a little bit ago. What I'm going to explain now is we're talking about the heroic solo milestone for officer shards this coming weekend, Cruzito. So this would be the epic, so it's going to be Soren. Okay?
Soren.
Okay? Now, what happened? He says, well, okay, fine. It's one solo milestone. It's going to last for the whole month. That's 50 milestones. Even if I happen to do something in the solo leaderboard, I'm not going to get it unlocked. That would be accurate math. Except when you finish milestone number 1, a new milestone will appear immediately. That milestone will then contain 100 shards in another heroic solo milestone. And those milestones will be expensive. It's still expensive, but they will be discounted by 5% of the material cost. So if, for example, I'm making numbers up, but if, for example, the first milestone was 1,000,000 points, then the next one's going to be 950,000 points, okay, to top the milestone. All right. So you got 50 shards in milestone number 1. Then you're going to do a second milestone is going to pop. You're not going to necessarily have to do it. A second milestone will pop that contains 100 shards. And then...
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. If you complete that milestone, a third milestone will show up that will contain 200 shards. Griffin, put your credit card away.
I can't wait. I'm practicing for Saturday.
That's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
All right. Risk Breaker says, like with Janeway, do you have to redeem the officer shards from the first solo milestone before the second one appears? That is my understanding. That is my understanding that you have to claim event rewards because what it is what happened is what it is in the top milestone there's a hidden token trigger, and upon receiving that token trigger, you will pop the second event. All right.
There you go.
Diedrich says, well-tastic. Well, yeah, obviously. But you know what?
Obviously.
Here's the deal. Okay. Is this still better than Gold Ducat style sourcing? Yes.
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 Here's the thing. It's not just that it refreshes and then refreshes again to get you a total of how many total shards are on the table for this DJ?
350.
350. Not only is that the case, but you got to remember, this thing doesn't end in 48 hours.
That's
right.
It
goes for the whole entire rest of the arc. So you can participate in an SLB this weekend and an SLB the following weekend. And where DJ was calling me an idiot earlier and said, oh, it's already in the game with the stupid event that's already running. I wasn't even talking about that event. I was talking about this event because this event is in the game the whole month. You can then participate in the daily mini events and not feel bad like you're just doing it for no reason on a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Because you're still going to be getting that SMS scoring all month long.
Thank you for bringing this full circle because this was the point I was driving at earlier and we didn't get to this part of it, Caledon. I am not going to feel as bad doing a ship upgrade in the middle of the week now because I'll have this event and it will capture my progress towards officer acquisition. And mind you, by the way, as a player who doesn't care about solo leaderboards, I am no longer incentivized to only spend on the weekend. Okay?
Exactly. Like I said an hour ago, does anybody else find it weird that all of a sudden my microphone started working again the second Tiger got off the stage? And now all of a sudden, these are all wonderful ideas that DJs is just now presenting to you that I said an hour ago.
That is a weird coincidence.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
All right. So again, I don't care about solo leaderboards. Don't care at all. I don't care about the daily solo leaderboards. I don't care about the weekend solo leaderboards. I don't care about the auction solo leaderboards. Never have. I've always gotten my butt kicked by the whales. Always. I've always been there. Me, I don't care. This is great for me.
Yes.
As a player.
It's great for everybody. It's great for everybody wherever you are. Whale, dolphin, free to play. I mean, everybody has the opportunity to do more than they ever could before in the game, including 7 of 9 sourcing, which was the most ridiculously great sourcing month that we've ever had. I think that this is going to be the greatest sourcing month we've ever had.
All right. Now, let me point out very quickly, just in case I wasn't clear, because I'm seeing questions in the chat. Solo milestone number 2 has a 5% discount built into it in the cost of the milestones. Okay. Solo milestone number 3 will have an additional 5%. So a total of 10% total discount on the cost of the milestones. All right. let me be very clear. This is still going to be stupidly expensive. We're talking 350 shards, okay? It's going to be stupidly expensive. But it's possible. It is there for players who want to, and I have always been a fan of put it on the shelf and let players buy what they want. It is a fixed price. It is the cost is there. You guys are joking about the milestones. Dragon Keeper says it'll be 10% off, but a 50% inflation. Maybe, but at least you know the price. You're not competing in a solo leaderboard. You're not going to get sniped. You know the price. You know the cost up front. You know what the investment is going to be. You know the price tag, and you can either say yes or no.
And there's nothing random about it.
All right. It is your price tag to determine its worth. For the record, as much as I want to reinforce the idea of these milestones this month, it's great. I don't know that this crew is for me. Hammy, we were talking about this earlier. I just don't like these
I can't
officers.
believe that you would think that. You got to remember the below deck abilities. Yep. You're too focused on
the captains don't have a below deck ability, guys.
Right there. That's impressively large.
I get what DJ's saying.
The epics don't have BDAs.
I'm still okay with the above decks, but I'm mostly interested in the below deck stuff they can do.
Well, that's for the rares, and let me just point out the rares are not going to be sourced in this fashion. They're still pack only. You know, so if this milestone method is perfect and great, just like the daily minis, the mechanic is sound, it's perfect and great. The officers this month just kill me. And the officers in the Admiral's chest kind of kill me. It's just, these aren't the selections that I would have wanted to experiment this method with. I'm afraid that Scopely will infamously misinterpret the results if it doesn't do real well, and it's just because it's a trash set of officers. That being said, the rares, I like the BDAs on the rares, but they're not in this solo milestone. They're being sold in packs. So you can't necessarily judge the mechanic against the officer that you're not going to be able to obtain. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be very cautious about that. That being said, I love this mechanic, and players should be very, very happy. I mean, milestones. You guys remember the 7 of 9 milestone? And you had mentioned it just a moment ago. Diedrich, I think it was. The Janeway milestone. Same things. Players love those. You might not have been able to finish it. You might not have even been able to see the second one, but you knew it was there. And you could have spent all the materials to get there if you wanted. All right? That's exactly it. Savage Darkness says, is Soren worth the effort? In my opinion, no. But I could be wrong. Griffin
seems depends on your style of play and what you're holding for officers right now.
Yeah.
He's not a universally terrible officer. It's just, do you have the need for him?
Okay. All right. Now, let's see if was there anything else? Listen, you know what? We should. It is getting late. Hammy, would you like to go ahead and start Hammy's happy hour? You want to go ahead and start Hammy's happy hour very quickly? That way we can get into your positive stuff that you wanted to talk about.
I'm actually getting my tummy starting to rumble.
Me too. I haven't eaten yet.
And I believe we have a
you want to shout
new theme
out
song.
You want to shout out a community member for this one, ladies and gentlemen. There is indeed a new Hammy's happy hour theme song. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your Discord submissions for Hammy's happy hour theme song. We go now to a creation from Nigel. Welcome to Hammy's happy hour.
Engines failing, shields are down. Hammy never wears a frown.
No, he doesn't. It's always there.
Nope. Don't know how.
He's always found.
Hammy's happy hour.
Flying high. No light can bring this guy. Till the stars will reach the sky. Happy vibes will never die.
There you go. It's Hammy's happy hour. And this time, we don't get cut off right before the cool guitar riff. You've got the riff here, Hammy. You check that out. The riff is going to keep playing for like a whole other minute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hammy's Happy Hour, where he is going to spend the next 3 minutes telling you about all of the awesome, amazing things that we want to know about. It's Hammy's Happy Hour.
And yet
All
he's
right.
typing. That was the throw to you, and you're still typing on your stupid mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, that was you, Hammy. Wait, he says check my
well, you know, it's
check
better.
my DMs.
I'm
Still
Hammy.
an
Here,
improvement.
I'm Hammy. Hold on. I'm sorry. Is it my turn for something? Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, considering the ringing that was going on before, the screeching, I think that we can put up with a little typing.
All right,
Okay,
yeah,
fair.
there was.
All right, you're on, pal. Let's go.
All right, buddy. Hammy's Happy
okay.
Hour is officially underway. Let's talk very quickly about all of the great things that are coming. Give us good news on Alliance tournaments.
I will, but I have an emergency message for you real fast that you should check your DMs.
Okay, check my DMs. Okay, so in the heroic solo milestones, it is not a 5% discount off of every milestone. It's a 5% discount off the top milestone. It's just the top milestone, or does it trickle down? So on milestone number 2, or the second event, the one that has 100 shards in it, I'm being told that the top milestone. Oh my gosh, this is a formula. Okay, okay. I'm assuming since both of you are telling me to check my DMs that I can read this aloud. Solo milestone number 1, 50 shards. Top milestone equals X. Okay? Solo milestone number 2, 100 shards. Top milestone equals 2X minus 5%. I'm going to assume that it doesn't trickle down the other milestones. It's 2X minus 5%. Then in milestone number 3, okay, it does trickle down. It does trickle down. That's exactly what we said, guys. Why are we correcting things? That's exactly what I said. 10% discount in milestone number 3, and it all trickles down. So we're good. Heroic solo milestone number 3, 200 shards. Top milestone is 4X minus 10%. Okay. No, it's exactly what I said matters. It's the discount is all the way there. It's all the way there.
Whew.
No, I didn't say 5%.
That's a Hammy's Happy Hour moment. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything is Hammy's Happy Hour is just fine. Everybody, don't have to worry about nothing. No, okay. Here's what I think Scopely got scared for a second because they misinterpreted my words. Just in case I said something wrong, they said you said it was 5% off the original, as in the same milestones minus 5%, but 100 shards instead of 50. Obviously, if I did say that, that was not what I intended. It was 50 shards for a top milestone. Then in the second one, 100 shards, but a 5% discount off of like the price per shard is probably what I should have said. Apologies. Top milestone would be 2X and then a 5% net discount. Okay. So basically 50 shards equals a milestone. 100 shards, they're basically going to double the points, but then all the milestones have a 5% discount. And then for milestone number 3, 200 shards. That's going to be 4 of the original ones, and then they're going to take 10% off the price. Okay. 10% reduction per shard, says Matters, would be the proper way for me to describe that methodology. Okay. Whew. Pip and Boo says, but it is a 5%? Is it a base 5%? Is it a Scopely 5%? Or is it a true 5%? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Question.
All right, we'll find out. Daystro says, do we start each new solo milestone from 0? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it starts over. It's a new event. So when we were talking earlier about being careful with your overflow, that's all great and good. The only time you need to be worried about the overflow is when you're crossing events. So try to be careful as you're finishing one of those milestones that you don't go massively overshoot, don't massively overshoot that. And then, because you won't get that carryover progress. All right. But when event number 2 pops, guess what? It's still going to last the rest of the month. Okay. And when number 3 pops, it's still going to last the rest of the month. All right. You've basically got, what is it going to be, Hammy? 16, 17 days to earn as many shards as you want. Kobayashi Maru style. And by the way, I'm going to argue that this is Kobayashi Maru style. I am sure that the Jonathan Ingrams and the Canine Tooths of the world will finish all 3 milestones. Griffin, you cheaped out on you cheaped out on tier 14. You stopped at tier 14, buddy. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about? Everybody stopped at tier 14. And listen to Tiger. Listen to Tiger. He said, oops, whoopsie poopsie. I got to go get that fixed.
No, he did not. Let's be clear. He said he was going to. No, he did not. He said he was going to look at it. He said
he agreed that it didn't make any sense.
He said it didn't.
There was not, and I quote,
he
from
said,
Mr. Tiger, there was not supposed to be a big inflated economy for that last tier upgrade. He
said it doesn't look right, but I'm going to double check it. He did not say or acknowledge that it was an error or mistake. Let's be very clear. All right. I'm not trying to.
That's true. That's true. However, I think that the blog post was right the whole time and they corrected the wrong thing. It's probably supposed to be ops or level 70. You should get that.
No, I think that the cost of parts of tier 15 is just astronomically wrong. But
half
again,
we've had the other, same difference.
It's same difference.
Well, I think we need to bring it back around to Hammy's happy hour.
Okay,
I will have to excuse myself. I have a hard out today, but I will say thank you all for letting me entertain you. And Hammy, I hope you have a great happy hour. I got a gig that I got to get to in 15 minutes.
Oh, well, have fun with that. All right, potato.
Thanks for stopping by, Griffin. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I hope you guys have a great day, and don't mess with me on those SLBs because I will destroy you. Bye.
Stratolorian says, remember, Mr. Tiger was the one who first said mining in mirror space was the best way to do it. And by the way, I'm going to point out that it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to remember, he wrote it. Okay. He wrote it. Maybe he knows what's coming down the road and we can't see it yet, but mining is literally the only thing I do in mirror space now, which is sad because I hate mining. God, I hate mining so much. All right, so...
No, you'll come around.
All right, Hammy, I read your DM. Back to Hammy's happy time. What else you got for us?
Okay, and this is not... I've seen a few players call this out, even though I think this is kind of a big deal, because we haven't really done this probably since the NX. We have day one free-to-play sourcing of the new ship.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Fair enough.
That's cool.
That's a good one.
You know?
Yep.
And just to piggyback on that, you mentioned it earlier, having the Chaos Tech sourcing also in the refinery without needing to have the ship.
Yep.
Also, that's super duper cool. I think that's awesome.
Very good. I like it.
Granted, it's in some of the more kind of the harder events, but I like seeing the premium mirror dust show up as rewards for events. This week, I think we've got more in there than usual.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I mentioned that to one of the event writers. I don't remember what event it was. Was it the Armada event? I'm going back to look. No, it wasn't Armada.
There was a few that I saw in there.
Found it. See. The Zindeep event. Yeah. Premium mirror dust. That was great. That was great.
A lot of people. A lot of people said they really liked the Zindeep event. That was been a really popular one.
Absolutely. That is very, very good. Love that one. All right.
Yep.
We're continuing with Hammy's happy time. Very good. All right.
So I have kind of an announcement that I'm going to post on official. It's kind of going into more details about some of the revamps of some of the older or legacy events. Starting with Cosmic Cleanup, we're going to be adding new ships to it. We were adding the Meridian and the Defiant. The Sarcophagus blueprints got boosted. New parts added to the battle debris claims as well. I know I said Sarcophagus, but still.
Sorry.
I've heard for a long time that we needed A, Meridian sourcing, and B, to add more ships to Cosmic Cleanup.
Agreed.
So I think that those are really super cool new additions. We're also going to be updating the Mining Monday rewards as well.
Okay.
I don't have the specific details, but maybe I can get those for the post tomorrow.
That'd be great.
And then also, we kind of touched on this before, kind of adding. I think I really love the fact that we added the Mirror Universe stuff to Swarm Sunday. Like that was something that a lot of people aren't doing Swarm Sunday anymore, and to give upper ops something to do on Sunday and then have lower ops continue to do it. And, if they're still chasing Khan and Mara, for lower ops, we're going to just keep doing it that way. So I think it's not probably as spectacular as last month, because last month we brought a lot of awesome stuff to the game. But this is good. I think there are some pain points like we talked about earlier, but I think overall this is a solid addition, and the event revamp is going pretty well. So again, it's only day 2, and we did drop a lot on players yesterday, like a whole bunch of events. Like I counted 15 just on the surface, and then you had the 3 dailies or 4 dailies and the Cerritos events on top of that.
The chat is agreeing with you. A lot of players coming in and saying that the augmentation of the NSEA Protector on Swarm Sunday was a wonderful, wonderful idea. And, honestly, I like how that was handled, because there was a lot of controversy over, do you revamp that event, but you can't take con away because people still source that. Again, what you have to be careful of is the same thing we're doing with these daily minis. You got to be careful not to remove something that would be good for a new player experience. That's why I still like the idea of dangling some ultras in there, dangling some Latinum and some officer XP in there, even though to a lot of later generational players like myself, like Jonathan Ingram, those things don't have a whole lot of need, but you solve that with the introduction of the monthly meta, I believe. I think that younger players still deserve that opportunity at sourcing. So this was really, really good decision that players under Ops 45 will retain their Swarm Sunday with Con, allowing new players to source that, and then you got other stuff that will be coming in the Mirror Universe event. I think that's fantastic. All right, I think that's very, very good. I wanted to
this was just a kind of a point that Griffin and I mentioned, just to kind of bring it up one more time. Like, I love the fact that we're integrating stuff that I do every week into weekly events now. Like I'm going after Zindi still. I'm going into Mirror Universe to either mine or go after hostile, stuff like that. So it's stuff that I'm already doing is now being integrated into events, and I love that. I think that's super cool.
Well, it gives rewards, so it adds a little bit more oomph to what you were doing. It's no longer just a chore, but it's an event that pays rewards. And in this case, the meta at the end of the month, that chore could end up paying you, 100 epic shards. So I think that's good. And to be clear with players, as far as we know, and I spoke to the event designer, this is not something that's a one-off for the month. The 28-day meta and the Admiral's Recruit Chest, this is, at least currently identified, as a permanent addition to the game, meaning that players will be able to earn 100 epic shards simply by engaging every single month. Yes? You're being very quiet.
Sorry, I was looking at chat.
Yeah, this is a podcast, sir. All right. Yes. Listen, everybody in the listening audience just held their breath there for a second. All right.
I should have been typing. Away.
Just keep banging on that mechanical keyboard there. Everybody's good. So very, very good on that. All right. Now, I do want to circle back around to Alliance tournaments. Again, I know we're almost out of time. Where are you at on Alliance tournaments? Are we expecting to see that here this month? How was Scopely's interpretation of the data on the last run? Are we getting to a point where you guys are a little bit more happy with this? And where, for the love of Pete, is the Kirshar artifact?
I can say I can't. This is one of those tricky situations where I want to be able to say something, but I'm not really allowed to at this point. I can say that I heard about bringing the Kishara back. I don't know if it was on here or it was in chat at some point, and I raised that and that it got traction. I can't 100% confirm that it's coming back, but people were definitely paying attention to that thread. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be great.
And question for you in chat. What did you think of the last run of tournaments?
Oh, loved it. I mean, me, myself, and I thought it was great. I think players are starting to hone in on a little bit of the strategy. A lot of players were really surprised when they saw me spending my refresh tokens on 750 and 1,500 point tasks. Hammy, there is strategy. There's a way to work the mechanics of this. I think people, again, have not fully understood this mechanic, and I don't know if that's Scopely's fault for not coming out and teaching it, but there are strategies to tournaments, especially for people who have a lot of refresh tokens. If you're doing the 10,000 point tasks,
there are responsibilities, quite frankly, that you have to your alliance to get them the tasks that they need help getting. If I was going to critique it in any sort of way, I would still say, man, I still want to see more credits in some of the tasks that are less than 10,000 points. I feel like the event store, the Alliance Tournament store, that's the real value of this event. I mean, it is. It's a great store. I would love to see the lower spend and free-to-play players be able to take advantage of that catch-up stuff. I mean, that's a great store for even someone like me. So I know it's a great store for a free-to-play.
Honestly, the two big pieces of feedback that I took back from the last run was, credits for all the tasks, not just specific ones. And the other one was the issue of the same task coming up after reroll. So those are the two main points. Did you experience that? Did Chad experience that a lot? Because it did filter through over on official.
I mean, I spent 70, 80 some thousand rerolls. So I'm sure that happened. I wasn't logging that. When I was spending rerolls, I was spending 8 or 9 or 10 rerolls at a time. Like I would just go click 750 reroll, 750 reroll, 15 reroll. I would do all of those just trying to get those 5,000 and 7,000 point tasks for my line. So I didn't log it. I do see a lot of people talking about that. But I think that is a thing also. Like if you reroll one at a time, then that's probably very likely to happen, Hammy. Again, I don't necessarily think that that's the strategy that I have adopted with my team. But regardless, Alliance tournaments are great, and despite the subtle nuances, they are beloved by almost everybody. All right. So I think that there are a couple of little things that we could do, maybe some credits. I think that all tasks also deserve some reroll tokens. Like I think all tasks deserve some portion of reroll credits, but the store it's the best store you guys have ever introduced into the game, and I think everybody deserves to be able to partake in it. So that being said, do we have a December Alliance tournaments in the calendar?
I don't think we have a date set. I haven't heard of any cancellation plans because especially after the last run, it seemed to go, it is improving with each run. So that is info that I will try and get posted ASAP because
Fantastic.
I know that a lot of people ask about tournaments.
And because it's
same way.
It's super well received. That's why people want it.
Yep. And just as a side note, and again, I don't have an exact date, but Invasion should be running also this month at some point.
That was going to be the next question, was Invasion.
I guess maybe week 3. This feels like a week 3 type of deal.
Okay. I do want to ask this question since you mentioned week 3 and it kind of triggered in my head. Week 3 will be knocking on the door of the holiday season. You and I had a conversation earlier today with one of the people responsible for this month's ARC, one of the event designers, in which the question was posed about event store loot. I see that, Divine, and I heard about it, Tarpy. A lot of people have been saying, man, listen, the events, I'm not seeing a lot of loot here. And moreover, we're seeing loot that is in events specifically targeted to players who have already paid and bought for the ship. So while I will always, we've seen, this is not new, okay, that there are paid events, that there are events behind a ship that offer event store loot. That is not new. I think what is more concerning is the lack of events that contain event store loot for the broader population that seems really, really light right now. I am hoping that it's just because it's a holiday month. Are we going to see an increase or a ramp up in event store loot? Because we've got, I mean, listen, there's an expectation. The expectation is several 100,000, 400 to 500,000 loot. We are nowhere near pacing that, but it is only day 2. What do you have for us on event store loot?
Well, I talked to the ARC runner as well about this, and what I was told was that it's basically on average similar to past months. So I could see us maybe holding off for when kind of the event store starts really kind of getting up and running, because we'll start kind of exploring with some of the holiday stuff coming up. But that's what I've been told right now, is that it is like comparable to past months.
Okay. So in your expectation, then we're going to, if that's the case, mathematically, we're going to have to see a ramp up. The event runner told me today that I could expect to see a number of larger quantity style event store loot events coming up towards the closer to the holiday season. I'm going to remind players of the last event store. Wasn't it like that last week matters, or like that last 10 days where there was like that super ridiculous meta that had like 70,000 event store loot in it or something like that? There was some kind of event series that we really actually praised in the last. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Matters. I had you off. Start again.
Oh yeah, we were tracking way behind for the month, but there was like a massive amount of loot that came in just in the last. I don't know if it was last week or the last like 3 or 4 days. Like it was both. It was cool.
Yeah, there was a lot. Dry Humor says, didn't they add that after the complaints? Well, I don't know. They told us that it was intended, and I'm gonna take them at their word on that. But I mean, nonetheless, by the end of the month, the event store loot paid like it was supposed to. So I know a lot of players have been concerned about that. Hammy, you're basically saying that Ops has told you that the event store loot should be on par. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Okay. Let me look at our list. Did we have anything else very quickly? I think that was most. Did you have any other event stuff that you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Although one last thing, I guess that would be a positive. I can't remember. We did this last month, but I can't remember if it was before I came on your show or after. And I don't mind saying it again. I'll take the second win, the double win. The update to transporter patterns.
Oh, yeah. No, that did happen after you were here last time.
Yeah.
That was a nice thing. Now, granted, that was last month. All right. What are you doing for me today? No.
It doesn't count if I didn't talk about it.
All right. Fair. But that being said, no, the transporter patterns update was very well received. I obviously players worked through that relatively quickly, some of the experienced players. But I know for me, and maybe I'm in the same boat as a lot of other players, 4 out of 5 of those officers were not maxed for me. So that actually gave me something to spend transporter patterns on, and I was pleased with that myself. So I was really glad to see that. So that was a good move. Sir Tail says it let me max 3 officers within a week. Jimmy Jam says that actually helped me a lot for PvP. So that was good. Daystros has a question that I need an answer to. Where are the field trainings that were launched in September and taken down within hours? Where the heck are they?
I don't know.
Dude,
still being worked on.
What?
There was the original plan was to kind of get them done in a month, but I think it just the issue got more and more complicated because the desire to bring them back. But I was actually looking for an update before the show because you had mentioned it earlier. I don't have a date for it yet, but I know that the team is still interested in bringing those back because I want them to come back because players loved it. They love the new additions to field training.
Let me be clear. We loved the concept of it, but no one got to play in it. It was gone within hours. So, I mean, it's been months, dude. I'm not going to throw off on it because what a great mechanic it was. But, I mean.
Yep. I'm taking a note of field training too, and I'm going to follow up. The tricky thing with this job, and I think I mentioned it before, is that with each new arc launch, it's like layers of the earth just keep on kind of piling up and piling up. So you're given a whole bunch of new things to track down, and some of them kind of fall off my radar. So field training, I'm going to track that down and see what's going on. Hopefully I have good news the next time I'm here.
Okay, fair enough. Can I ask, and I don't know if we've got updates on this, and I know we're out of time. I'm out of time as well. Arenas.
Yeah.
I feel like we slid here a little bit. By the way, and not with. All right, I'm just going to rip this Band-Aid off.
what has happened with engineering. The last 3 weeks have been a technological nightmare. On top of that, we've made no additional changes or progress in attempting to allow players access to a feature that is currently locked to 8 hours a week. I must implore again for a minimum 12-hour window. And for the love of God, what happened to engineering?
That's a good question, because that's also what I'm hearing on official, is that lag is targeting still an issue, or is it just mainly lag? Because I know targeting with the board cube is always going to be a thing.
Dude, I have I can count on one hand the number of times this game has made me want to throw things. Okay? I literally, arenas was one of those this past Monday. Assaults was another. Now, you do not want me comparing assaults and arenas and saying them in the same sentence. You do not want that.
Let's no need to bring up assaults. I know you're getting a little heated right now. We can all take
There's
a step back.
There's a vein that's popping on my forehead.
No. Let's not talk about assaults. We don't talk about assaults. But to your point, that's what I heard also. And the last time I did arena, I didn't have a chance to do them this week, but I think when I did it 2 weeks ago, I experienced the same level of frustration that you did, because you've got a lot of pressure to target and go after these ships, and I could not target them, and it was driving me nuts.
Nothing. Yeah. You can't see an attack coming. You can't perform an attack. And now, listen, I'm just, in case engineering doesn't know, they've broken them even more now, because this past Monday now, the graphics and the targeting are so bad that your ship is no longer sitting in the circle. Like, you fly to the circle, but you're actually all the way over there. You see? All the way that way. Like, your ship doesn't even sit in the circle now. This feature, I described this feature when it came out. Hey, and by the way, I was one of the biggest endorsers of this thing when it came out. I said it was a house of cards. I said the one wrong move could make the whole thing tumble. And, buddy, we're tumbling. Arenas could have been great. It is literally progressively getting worse week after week, and I can't fathom how that is happening. How is Scopely allowing this to happen?
That's what we're going to figure out. And basically, just to follow up on what you were saying right there, I was with you when we launched arenas. I still think it has the potential to be one of the best mechanics we've added in a very long time, but we have to get on top of the performance issues, and we need to make that priority. I can push for 12 hours again and see if we can get any movement on that, because they are making adjustments here and there. But yeah, performance-wise is something we definitely need to look into.
All right. One or two more quick questions from the chat as we get ready to wrap up Hammy's Happy Time. Hey, you know what? I'm going to praise. I have something to praise that you didn't bring up yet.
Oh.
Choice
tokens. This is a delightful surprise.
Choice tokens returned in the Battle Pass.
Oh yeah. I was happy to see that too.
Choice tokens returned in the Battle Pass. That was phenomenal. I'm very happy about choice tokens. So that is great. Will we? That leads into my next to final question. Are we going to see a special second Battle Pass for the holiday season this month?
I don't know. I have to ask about that. I haven't heard of it either way. It'd be cool, because it was awesome. But last month it was also for the 6th anniversary, which was basically
this month is Christmas.
Big deal. It would be cool. I'll ask. That's a question I haven't. No one's raised yet, but it'd be super cool if we did, because that went over great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did. It was super, super wonderful. All right. Last question that I've got is updates to the event store. I feel like we might have taken a step or two backwards with this event store. Like, we're not seeing a Fleet Commander thingy in there, and there's not like that featured item. Although I heard today from Live Ops that they are reviewing items to be added. Is that window open? How can players submit their inquiries into what can be added, and when are we expecting to see any additions to the store?
you don't hang out on official very much. They know how to submit their opinions on what should be added to store very
You're
easily.
right. I don't go to official. Every time I show up on official, I get muted. All right. Literally, without fail, the moderators there hate my guts. Every time I show up, I get banned for something.
That's not true.
Every time.
That's not true.
Actually, no. You know what it is? It's every time I'm there, I'm instigating something. So they just don't put up with it. They're just like,
jeez.
oh, God, DJ's here. They literally can time it on a watch. 3 minutes in, I'm timed out. Boom, you're out of here, Sonny. So, yeah, I actually have great relationships with most of them. But, yeah, every time I show up on official, I get muted. It's 100%.
you got a perfect record.
There's no RNG there at all. All right. So, no, you're right. I don't go over there. But I still remember the warmth that I felt from all the flames that come from that Discord so many years ago.
It's actually, you know what? It's actually pretty cool these days. There's still
that's hilarious.
Maybe it's because you're not around. But it's to instigate stuff. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you're a funny one right there. Yeah, you silly goose. All right.
But regarding the event store real quick, there will be stuff coming in the next couple of weeks, and to keep an eye out, because from what I understand, we're going to be rotating things in, so you want to grab them when you see them.
Okay.
But there's more stuff coming. What I've
so
heard,
limited time bundles is what you're saying. Limited time bundles are going to be coming in. Limited time bundles. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
The big ask that I've heard, and I'm trying to get back in the store, is the fleet commanders, because those were super popular with players. So I'm following up on that and seeing what I can do, but no updates yet about it.
Okay, very good. Throw some protector parts in there. I would love some protector parts. Kirshara shards.
That'd be cool.
Kirshara shards. I don't know. Maybe a whip. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Oh, dude.
It's been long enough on that.
I told you it's my white whale.
Yeah, I know, buddy. You got
Someone needs to do a meme of a hamster on a ship chasing the Ferengi whip. Like that. That is a surprisingly big percentage of the time I spend at work a week is just trying to track that down.
Give me some Gwen DeMarco shards. Yeah, man, protector parts would be big. That ship has been remarkably slow to tier. I love it, by the way. I'm not complaining. I love the loop, but yeah, I wish it was just a little bit faster. And that's why I love invasions. That's why I want invasions. For me, I know a lot of people want it for Gwen DeMarco. I want it for protector parts. So we've got to loosen up on those a little bit. All right. Do we have anything else? Hammy, first of all, what a champion. You know, our community managers in the past used to hang out for 30 minutes, 60 minutes. Yeah, I want you to look at the clock. He's been here 3 hours. Hammy, my man, dude. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love coming on the show. Even if you occasionally blindside me with something that I had no idea.
What did I blindside you with today?
Oh, it's everything. Just watch the tape. You'll see it.
Roll back the tape. You know,
but seriously, I love coming here. And when you said 3 hours, I'm like, no, that can't be right. But I look at the clock, I'm like, oh yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
like
it
flies by for me. I love the conversation. I love interacting with chat. So I have a great time. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And community, I know that you guys appreciate having him here. This is phenomenal. Thank you so very much. Hammy is the best CM we've had in almost my 2 years of playing. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, they love you, man. Yeah, take that, Echo.
No. Let's start. No. Let's end on a high note. And honestly, one of the reasons why I do love my job as CM is that I love the community. Like it's different from, I think, a lot of other game communities. Like I love Star Trek. I love the game. Like I love the community. So it makes the job easier. It's not an easy job by a long shot.
Yeah.
But I love it, and I want to keep doing it.
Well, we appreciate you very much. Divine is reminding me, which we have not had a chance to feature yet. I actually recorded video of this during Incursions, but the new Incursions event store also getting a lot of updates, a lot of changes. That was very, very good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to really break down into that. During Incursions, I actually took video of all those bundles because I wanted to talk about that on the show, and we haven't had a chance to do it because the ARC launched. But that was a very nice change. It seems like
good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the stores and a lot of the bundles have been updated. I remember you guys saying in our pre-arc meeting that there were over 3,000 bundles that were rewritten for this arc. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. There were 3,000 bundles.
Yeah, that's TBD. I really wanted to bring an update about what you're talking about, but we're not there yet. But
wait,
we
what are you
have
talking
something
about?
planned.
Wait, what? There's
What's
more?
that?
Wait, no, I thought it was already done. Because the faction store and the event stores and all this stuff, 3,000 bundles were rewritten.
Yeah. Well,
so there's more.
So it's kind of complicated. We did announce that we were going to be doing kind of something with the faction stores to reduce clicks, and that's what I think. That's what the 3,000 bundles is what you're talking about, because the faction stores are bananas. We had to revert it, I think, last minute, which is a bummer, because that was actually one of the big quality of life things that I was looking forward to. We are
that fly out animation thing. Okay.
Yep.
Got you.
So we're still working on it. I just don't have an update for when I wanted to come here and be like, it's coming next week or something like that, but it's not, or at least it could, but I don't know when for sure that it's coming.
Okay.
I really wish I had that info though when I came here.
Honestly, I didn't. In fairness, I did not know that. I know that you had told us about it, and I know that I read about it in the video. Yep. And like I said, listen, for those of you who have been with me for the last 5 years, and I'm sure Hammy can agree, ARC launch weeks are typically very busy. Hammy, have you actually played for pleasure in the last 48 hours? Because I have not. I have not played for pleasure in the last 48 hours because there's just so much work to do on ARC Fall Week. So I actually had not noticed that wasn't there. So good to know that is still being worked on. Okay, very good. All right. Anything else? We got to go. It's Hammy's Happy Hour, and it's literally been an entire hour. All right. Yeah, you actually filled an entire hour with Hammy's Happy Time. All right.
Well, we did get a little sidetracked.
Only a little bit. Community, thank you guys so very much. Can I get a huge round of applause for Community Manager Obsidian Hamster hanging out with us tonight? Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody. Really had a blast tonight.
Hey, thank you very much. Ham Sam says that I missed a question. What was your question? Dude, you realize how hard it is to read chat like this? Do you realize that there's literally hundreds of people in the chat asking questions? It's so hard to read all the chat. Okay, here's what he's asking. Oh, I can tell you the answer to this. Ham Sam wants to know if you're still investigating cross-alliance arena squads. Is that still being looked into?
I mean, yes. I think that's always something that we're interested in. I don't know if we have something coming for the next arenas run though. Like I'm right now, the priority for me is the performance and the maybe extending the time, getting it to out of alliance. I would love to see, but I've heard that is kind of a much bigger tech ask than extending the time or addressing the lag. So
yeah, I agree.
I'm all for that change, but I haven't heard of any updates.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate you being here. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a conclusion of Hammy's Happy Time. Go get you something to eat. What's on the dinner menu?
Yep.
Anything cool?
I mean, I think it's cool.
Are you having coffee paste again?
See, this is exactly the exact type of blindsiding I was talking about.
Are you having coffee paste for dinner again tonight? Oh, come on,
no,
Hammy.
I already had that. Okay. Costco. This is I make all these stupid, shameful admissions. I should just say no comment.
I love it. No, what are you having for dinner?
Okay, Costco has these amazing frozen salmon patties that you can get in the freezer section, right?
Okay.
They are spectacular. You defrost them a little bit, slap them on the good old George Foreman grill, a little ketchup, a little mayo, a couple pickles. It is delicious, and I'm looking forward to my salmon burger tonight.
You put ketchup on a salmon patty. Are you 12?
Yeah. It's like a burger. It's like a burger, dude.
Okay, I could actually maybe get it behind it being a burger.
So would you? Yeah, would you use what, tartar sauce? Because mayo is really close to tartar sauce.
It is. Okay. You know what? I'm actually gonna. I don't know about the ketchup, man. Ketchup on fish, like that. That doesn't seem like that's a thing.
It is a thing.
I don't know that that's a thing, dude.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. But I mean, if it's
if
it's a fish burger, then that might make it different.
But it's like a fish stick, fish stick. You would use ketchup on, right?
No, that would be tartar sauce. And I'm just saying.
Not
Listen. I'm gonna give a pass on this. I haven't experienced it yet. Okay, that's right. Hamsters be eaten differently, says Kill the Deal. I get it. Hamsters eat different. Look, dude. Let me just point out. The entire interview tonight has been wonderful until the last 30 seconds. Chat is totally disgusted by you now.
With the blindside. The blindsiding questions. We were doing so well.
It's the same thing as the coffee paste. This is the same thing as the coffee paste.
This is gonna be a trap. I thought, you know what? I'm too honest. I should just be like, I'm having a hamburger and just leave it at that. And just take off my headset and walk away. I'm having a hamburger. Are you happy?
Oh my god.
I do have a rationale maybe for the mayo and ketchup. Coming from Canada, it's basically a national law that you have to put mayo and ketchup on everything.
Okay.
Like French fries.
That's fine. You weird Canadians.
Broccoli.
You do that thing. Okay.
Oranges.
Yes,
potatoes.
Salmon patty good. Condiments bad. Okay, fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have tried to let him go 17 times.
And you know what?
Hammy, thank you.
Just one more thing.
Okay,
just
one more thing. Just one more thing.
I love chat. Okay, I love all the peeps in chat. They're my peeps. I love them to death. But man, when it comes to food, you guys get so judgy so quickly. Like just boom,
guys. Hold on.
Oh, what a weirdo. He's a freak.
Hold on. I am officially throwing it down right now. I am launching a meme contest. The single soul winner will get a $100 pack courtesy of Talking Trek. I want Hammy's Dining memes. You guys have a week. We're gonna draw for them next week. All right. Actually, no. I'm gonna let it go till the next state of the game. You got it 1 month. When Hammy comes back, he's gonna pick the winner. Okay. Hammy's gonna pick the winner. All the memes. You got 30 days. I want to know all the stuff that you can come up with about ketchup on fish. And coffee paste.
You guys are the freaks.
Coffee paste and all this other garbage stuff, okay? You got 30 days. All right, Divine says, add a channel, I'm in. All right, there you go. That's right. Obsidian Hamster likes pineapple on pizza. Ew. I know.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I am not morally offended by pineapple on pizza. If it's there, I'll eat it. I don't care. Like, it's not like, oh, it's the end of the world.
Oh.
It's not my first choice.
Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you, Hammy. Have a wonderful night. Appreciate you stopping by. Ladies and gentlemen, what? Just one more thing. Just one more thing.
I think
look, guys, he loves us so much. He does not want to leave. What?
Lightning Hawk just jumped into chat.
Did he really? That's not the same. That is a different.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
That's not the same one. Sorry. I know that is very confusing to us.
Because the actual Lighthawk just pinged me. Oh, so I put the two together, and I'm just like, wow.
That's not the same guy. No, listen. So here's the thing. We have a friend. We have a friend who uses a variation of the screen name Lighthawk. But then there's Lightning Hawk in our chat. They're different people, but it confuses all of the staffers. Lightning Hawk, you have a great name. Like one of these days, somebody's going to accidentally bring you into a Scopely staff meeting because your name is the exact same name. So one of these days, you're just going to get a message and be like, hey, can I talk to you about next month's feature? And you're just going to be like, yes, absolutely you can. All right. That's what you're going to do. All right. Guys, thank y'all. We have got to let this hamster go.
We're done.
He keeps staying
I gotta
here.
eat, man. I gotta feed the cat.
He doesn't leave. He loves it. He just wants to stay here.
I do.
All right? I've played your outro music 5 times now.
Go enjoy your fish there.
That's not the real outro music. You should use the other song.
You want me to use the other one?
Anyways.
All right, I'll get you the other one.
Yeah,
Ladies and
let's do that
gentlemen, community manager, Obsidian Hamster, and almost got it. There it is, okay? All right, that's it. We're going to let him go. And we are going to wrap up here just for a second. Hammy, thank you so much. You are awesome. Everybody say bye to Hammy. Goodbye, Hammy.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later, dude.
Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye. All right, there he is. Woo! Dude didn't want to leave, man. Dude, is my chair shrink? It did. My chair shrunk. All right. Listen, this show has gone tremendously longer than I intended for it to go. Hammy was here for 3.5 hours. I should be in bed sleeping by now. And now, when I'm ready to go, we just started a hype train. You started a hype train, you crazy animals. I do love all of you guys, but I am now ready for sleep. I still have to work tomorrow. You guys say there's no leaving. Galadon says you're not going to bed. I mean, I need to go to bed, but I can't leave during a hype train. So you know what? I'm just going to say this. Someone can say whatever you want to say about it. I will not leave during a hype train. I never do. So if you want to keep me here all night, then you get to just keep running the hype train. You are 60 seconds on the clock before it runs out. Just throwing that out there. But I will never leave during a hype train. Thank you, Swag.
Give me hugs and kisses.
Here's your hugs and kisses. Okay, there you go. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Doss says 24-hour marathon. I will. Oh my gosh, the Lions are only leading by 3 points in the fourth quarter. You guys got to let me go watch some football.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Give me hugs and kisses.
Thank you, Madam Stargazer, for the hugs and kisses. You guys got to let me. I mean, Green Bay is ready to knock off the Lions.
I'm so positive. I'm full of positive energy.
Oh, you know what I didn't get a chance to ask him? Hey, you know what? I see you lurking. All right, Scopely staffers, I have a bone to pick. All right, I can see at least 3 staffers still in the chat. Can I pick a bone for a moment? Matters. I have been confused at least 15 times over the last 48 hours about somebody asking about Rev. Except it's not Rev, it's the Revenant. So, I want to know, where the hell is my ship? Okay? Like, why did Rev get a ship in the game before me? And before anybody says, oh, no, that's not Rev's ship. Bull crap! It's named after him! Okay? Where's my ship? Okay? You could have at least given me a skin or something, right? You could have given me something. Give me an avatar. Oh. A staffer.
You got the 2 cat avatars.
Hold on. I am now officially allowed to leak to you, everybody, that coming next month will be the SS Motor Mouth. You're a son of a biscuit. The SS Motor Mouth is coming. You know, yeah, that's right. Riskbreaker says you never made your pack. I didn't make my pack. You're right. I'm going to have to get on that. So, yeah, golly. Yeah. I know. Rev even got a building named IA, the alliance he's in. I'm serious. What the hell, Scopes? All right, like you just keep throwing down all these game content things for Rev. Where's my content? Okay.
I mean, you got a video in the video feed.
Beck got it. Okay, fair. I did actually. That's right. I forgot. I did get a video, but it's gone now. It was only there for like 6 days. All right. Beck has an officer in the game. Listen, these guys have permanent fixtures in the game now. Beck's got an officer. Okay, right? Rev's got a ship. That stuff ain't going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. Where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? So, joking aside, every single time that somebody says, and I just saw this, I didn't mean to go to do this. Somebody just says, hey, can you talk to me about Cruz from Rev, or what was the exact word? What was it? Can somebody talk to me about the Rev Cruz? And I'm like, I don't know. Ask him what his crews are. I don't know. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. You want Cruz for the Revenant. I got you. Yeah, okay. Kill Deal says, give this man a minor. No, I don't want it. All right. Yeah, my ship is going to have a passive ability for starbase assaults or something stupid. A $1,000 Mayflower skin. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Listen, you guys just remind me. Someone made an aft joke. And that actually reminded me. Can I show you guys something? In literally days, we are going to be ready to launch. I got back the artwork today for the auction items for the Children's Hospital. Do you guys want to see how great these turned out? Can I show them to you?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this art absolutely makes me so happy. This is the one from Elias Tufexis. First of all, look at that matting and the way that they color match the mat to the tone of the picture, and then like the extra little matte trim and the elegant, simple frame. All right, is that not beautiful, Stargazer? This is an autographed photograph from Elias Tufexis, who played Locke on season 5 of Discovery. Just absolutely beautiful art. This is not it. All right, you guys. All right. Real quick, just in case kids can read sloppy handwriting, this next one is rated R. Okay. Here you go. Stay Vulcan as a mother trucker. Gabrielle Ruiz to Lynn. So, but again, look at this one, this green, because of the art that's in here and the green matting. I mean, they did so good. All right. Stay Vulcan as a mother trucker. And by the way, Gabrielle's such a sweetheart. She gave us 2. Here's another one. Stay Vulcan as a mother trucker. All right. Yeah. I love, and look, you see, I smidged it. I was so upset, but at least you know it's real. But I smidged it down here. I was very upset about it. But yeah, that's from Gabrielle Ruiz. And the matting is just beautiful. They did such a good job. Okay, this one is hilarious. You want to see this one? People have been teasing me about my use of the word aft. All right, there you go. Thank you, Bonnie Gordon. Just take a look at that aft. Okay. All right. Yeah, look at that. That is the Protostar from Star Trek Prodigy. Bonnie Gordon was the voice of the computer in that animated show from Nickelodeon. So thank you, Bonnie Gordon. That is beautiful. I love it. Look at that. How many of you guys have watched that video I posted of Bonnie Gordon this past week? I actually put it up on YouTube. By the way, there's only 60 seconds left. We're 12% through a level 4 hype train. Thank you guys so very much. I'm going to read a couple of thank yous here in just a second as we get ready to wrap up the show tonight, because I haven't read any of them tonight. I'm going to read them all. But did you guys watch the Bonnie Gordon video on YouTube? If you have not, you need to go check it out. She is hilarious, and she gave us permission to post the entire show. All right. Iron Chef, what's going on? Thank you for your 100 kitty bitties. Iron Chef was there.
Give me hugs and kisses.
Iron Chef, do you remember how awesome Bonnie Gordon was? All right. And she was so funny. She sat down with us at the podcast table a time or two. But then she gave us permission to actually broadcast her entire stage set. So we recorded the whole thing. That's why that video is over an hour long, because she gave us permission to record and show her stage set. So that's in there, including a special moment where she came over and may or may not have given me a lap dance. Just saying. And there's video evidence. I mean, it's there. You can see it for yourself. All right. Video is on YouTube now. It is available on our YouTube channel. That is Ultimate DJs Plays. You can go check that out. All right. And this one might be my favorite autographed signed frame. Ladies and gentlemen, how beautiful. Even in command red. Like, they couldn't have got this any better. Look at that. The beautiful golden captain's uniform from from oh my god, sorry, Strange New Worlds. But then like the classic Command Red. How beautiful is this? All right, Anson Mount signed this for you guys for the Children's Hospital. This was phenomenal. I'm very, very excited about this one. And lastly, the big kahuna. Are you guys ready to see how this turned out? You guys ready to see how this turned out? This is the t-shirt. The full frame. Command yellow matting. They pressed the shirt and even did this thing with the sleeves so you could see what was on the sleeves. And guys, you can see here every single signature that we got. Along with, they put an image of the front of the t-shirt so you knew what was on the other side of the t-shirt. Along with a show-issued letter of authenticity with a grade of excellent. I mean, whew. Guys, I have been told by various people that this shirt is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a collector of collectibles, but I have been told that with all of these names, that this shirt is worth thousands of dollars. I don't know if that's true or not.
Which names didn't you get?
We were unable to get John Delancey because he did not come. We were unable to get Vaughn Armstrong or Jeffrey Combs because they were only there one night. I missed out on getting theirs. I did not get that one. And Casey Biggs, I did not get. They're the members of the Rat Pack, and I didn't realize that they were playing, that they were only there one night. So they came, they played their show, which I watched. I love the Rat Pack show, but I assumed that they would be there the next day, and they weren't. So I missed all three members of the Rat Pack. And then Max Grodenchik was not there. Okay? Max Grodenchik was not there. Olivia Green and Rika French, I did not find them. Jessica Stasek, I did not find her. I did not know where they were. So those were a couple of names that I missed out on. But, I mean, a lot of your primary television cast. There's Gabrielle Ruiz, Adele Shepard, Anson Mount right here, Anthony Rapp, Bonnie Gordon, okay? Celia Rose Gooding, Uhura, Connor Trenier, Dominic, Doug Jones, Ethan Peck, Eugene Cordero. Guys, oh. This shirt, Michelle Hurd is on here. This shirt, I could believe that it is worth thousands of dollars. Look, Todd Stashwick signed his as Captain Shaw. Tawny Newsom's on there. Sonequa Martin Green even drew us a little heart because she knew it was for charity. Look, she put a heart on it. These guys were incredible. They are so loving. They were so friendly, every single one of them. And every single one of them wanted to be a part of this. Once we get the auction site up, which is going to happen in the next few days, every single one of them have asked for us to send them like the link to it. Like they wanted to see this thing happening. They wanted to see the community reaction to it. So I really, really hope that I really, really hope that this thing performs like I want it to. And it's all for the hospital. Like, seriously, we're not taking a dime. It's all for the hospital. The cost of these frames, guys, I'm sure you guys know, framing is not cheap stuff. That is my contribution this year because 100% of these proceeds are going to the Children's Hospital. And so we're very, very excited. I could not be happier with the art, the way that it came out. It was just great. This is just beautiful. It is just beautiful, this thing. So, anywho, so amazing. All right. Is that it? What about the old show's cast? So there really wasn't that many people there, Ben Sai. This was the convention that we went to in Nashville, and you saw the cast list. They didn't have any original series folks there. I might try to do something similar on the cruise ship this year. All right, I might try to do something similar on Star Trek The Cruise and do something similar for next year's giveaway. I don't know. We'll see what we can do.
If you can't find the person, just call them down. Like, oh, we need the Mr. So-and-so to come down to the captain's room here and just ambush him on the way.
Yeah, may have to do something like that. Well, but it was great. The authenticity letter is amazing. I mean, I didn't. This is just, it just all came together so beautifully well. And I'm really pleased with everybody who was a part of it. It is just awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank all of the Star Trek cast for putting this thing together. It's just great. Candy White made the T-shirt, which ended up being a hit. You know, I don't know if I shared this with you. There were actually several cast members who did actually come and buy one of these shirts. They did. I had Michelle Hurd bought one. Sonequa Martin Green bought one. Doug Jones bought one. And Elias Tufexis bought one. 4 that I can remember, and there might have been others, 4 Star Trek cast came over and said, I would actually love one of these. And I said, and by the way, I obviously said, well, I'd be happy to give you one. Here, and they were like, no, seriously, let me buy one. I mean, how sweet is that? That was just sweet. It was mind-blowingly sweet. So I was going to give it to them. They insisted on paying me for the shirt. So it was just phenomenal. They were such great people. So I'm excited to see a lot of them on the cruise ship this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right. Yeah, Nashville was very, very special. It was a lot of fun. All right, we've got to go. I've got to go. Who do you guys want to raid tonight? There's nobody on. Let's see. We've got Bafty is on. Nolan is on. Pika is on. That's who we got. All right, that's who I see. We got Bafty, Pika, and Nolan. Oh, Scribbler's on. Why is she not showing up in my list? I'm a follower of Scribbler. I hate this new raid thing. It doesn't show you everybody who's on your list. It really doesn't. Wait a second. Ice Wolf is streaming?
Ice Wolf Law.
Ice Wolf Law is streaming? I want to watch that. I'm not actually sure I'm following her. Well, I'm going to go follow that right now. Yeah, I'm not following Ice. What is wrong with me? I'm going to have to go check that out. Okay. Wait, so Iron Chef. Guys, I'm actually going to show you something. Can I show you something? All right. I think I can show you this. This is my raid channel pop-up, okay? I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. I'm going to click the button. So it's not just people I'm following. These are people I'm not following, okay? Now I'm going to click the follow button. This is what shows up. That's it, and that's it. I don't get to scroll anymore. So why are my people that I'm following not showing up on my list? I hate this new piece of this Twitch. Show me everybody I'm following. That's it. It's showing me 6. But I'm following. So now listen, if I put in Scribbler, you guys will see proof positive that I'm following Scribbler. I don't understand this. It should show me everybody that I'm following so I can raid somebody that I'm following. Twitch, fix it. Fix it, Twitch. I'm going to complain. All right. I've got to say some thank yous as we get ready to wrap up and hop on out of here. And we are going to go raid Ice Wolf Law. I have never I'm actually not following her channel. So we're going to go check that one out. Let me say thank you, though. I do need to say thank you because I did not read any acknowledgments all stream long. So I'm going to say right now, thank you guys so very much for everybody who contributed to our stream today. Thank you, Worf, Iron Chef, Kill Deal, Benny Hill, Engineer, Sir Tail, Madam Stargazer, Just Q, Hillbilly, Worf, Fool, Grand Admiral Hunter, General Darkfire, Chris Son of Mac, Lost In, Maj Mod, Star Fury, Outlawed Future, Wildstar, Captain Shaw, Lost In, Indominus Prime, Chief, again, Lost In, again, Webster Sponge, Scarlet Hawk, Havoc Camaro, Keith, Hero, Indy Hoosier, Candy White, Roger Workman, J Babes, Papa Smurf, Angry Lou, and Death Destroyer of Worlds. Is that not a ridiculous list of people who have supported the channel here tonight? Thank you guys so very much. Please visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com.
StFC.com. That's TalkingTrackSTFC.com, where you can find a list of other of our properties. Our Studio B channel, which we will be broadcasting from Studio B this coming weekend. You'll be able to find out all kinds of other fun and goodies, including our merch store. Yes, we have ugly Christmas sweaters up right now in our merch store. There are 3 of them. You guys be sure to go check those out. Thank you guys all so very much. In the meantime, we are going to raid on over to Miss Ice Wolf La. And we're going to see what she's doing inside Ice Wolf's Pandemonium Live inside Star Trek Fleet Command. And I just appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so very, very much. A great show tonight. Thank you to my special guest, Obsidian Hamster, Mr. Tiger, to always, of course, my brother from another mother, friend and co-host, Griffin, and to all of you. Thank you guys for being a member of our community, a very valued member of our audience. And to all of you listening in podcast form, on Apple, on Google, on YouTube, all the places. Thank you, guys. I am Ultimate DJs, your friendly neighborhood cat person, saying meow for now. Love you, man, to catch you on the next one. You guys have a great night. Pieces. I'm going to go find out what is happening with my son now.